Good morning, everybody. You are tuned to Computers 2K Now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Edmund, your host for the next few hours, along with Mike.
Hello.
Hello. And Bruce is here.
It is I, indeed.
It is you, indeed. Indeed is you. Spence is somewhere on a ship, on a cruise. He may call in via audio. Today is January 26th, 2014, and our number is 919-518-9773. Computers OK Voice on Skype. And Mike's video is deteriorating bad.
It's doing it here, too.
Yep, it is going.
So you're saying we might get a Cancun call or a Cabo call?
Ocean call. He's going to be on a cruise. So
he might be in port this morning.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike, it got better for a second there, and then
No, it's showing it's on my end. It's not your end.
it's showing what?
It's on my end, not your end. Let me disconnect and reconnect.
Go for it. I'm not going to change the. Well, yeah, that is.
I don't think that helped.
Well,
I'm going to have to reboot, I guess. Let me do a bandwidth test, because Bruce's video back to me is fine.
yeah, it's fine here, too.
Let me do a speed test.
And Bruce, what does it
9
look like?
milliseconds and 30 megabits.
What does it look to you like, Bruce?
Oh, it's bad here.
Pixelated.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like it's probably bandwidth because his audio is not quite up to par as well.
I just heard it.
You
Yeah.
know, at least that's with my ear.
All right, just it'll screw up your capture, but I'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Looks like it's coming back. Looks like
Not
it's
here.
Improving some.
Not
No?
here, not on that, but you started working. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. At 11 o'clock, we're going to have Matt Ivey, president of ATAMOS USA, joining us for a while there to talk about the ATAMOS video recorders and converters and things like that. That's him right there. I need to change the... Okay. Until Mike comes back. Nah, there's nothing I can do with Bruce's picture. I don't want to mess it up.
That's okay.
Yeah, I know.
Don't mess it up.
I'm just going to go
He'll
this
be
way. So we are Oh, there's Mike. Yeah.
Okay.
Talk.
Hello, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Yep. All right. That was a fast reboot. Did you just restart Skype or reboot the machine?
I rebooted the machine.
Oh, nice machine.
i7 with SSD.
Wow.
There you go.
Yeah,
And I even did a video test before I logged back into you.
nice.
I'd love to convince our IT department to replace my aging Dell Latitude with an i7 with an SSD.
I
Nice.
just convinced management to replace the IT department.
I have a question. First of all, how does this? If I'm going to show that later, does this look okay?
I don't know what you're saying. You're moving away from the microphone.
Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, does that look okay to show later? I mean, does it show? Don't tell me you don't see it.
I'm not logged into the web, and I don't see it on return
Wait a
video. So
second.
what are you talking about?
Let's put it this way. Yeah, that's right. No, it's not on turn video. Oh, wow.
I can get there. Just hang
This is
on.
one inside the
Oh,
other,
yeah.
inside another.
Yeah, I can see it good. I can see it fine.
Yeah, the chroma key is killing it. Let's see what happens when I do this. It still shows one inside the other, Well, oh well. That's all right. I just want to be able to show when Matt is talking about it, what it's like.
I'm watching the pre-roll.
Yeah, when you did that, Amnon, you turned off your chroma key, I was reminded of the Wizard of Oz. Pay no attention to the man behind the servers.
Pay no attention to the servers, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what's going on? Let's get this thing rolling. What's up, Bruce? What happened this week?
Well, we survived the Google outage. That was
How long
quite
did it
interest-
last?
They say on their official blog about 29 minutes for one subset of people and maybe 35 minutes. It seemed like it was longer though. We were in a tech and coffee hangout. We were having a blast with that thing. And then we started following Twitter feeds, and it was like the world's coming to an end. It's the end of the world, and we know it. Google's crashing. The Hangout stayed live, though. We have a persistent URL for that, but it was interesting. We kept, Google Plus, you couldn't check your photos. Google Gmail was down. Apparently, you could still do some stuff with Google Docs and stuff like that, but it was quite interesting. One of the things that I enjoyed, of course, and you could do this on any PC, but if you haven't and you use Gmail, I'd really recommend you set up your Gmail for offline. You can download an app for that, the Chrome Web Store, because then I was able to open up my Chromebook and log in to click my Gmail offline icon, and I had all the emails that were current up until the time it went down, so that I could then reply, I could compose, and deal with whatever I wanted to deal with, and then of course when it came back, they'd all be sent. So, but a good benefit to having your Gmail set up for offline access.
And did anybody say what happened? Did you read anything anywhere?
Yeah, it was some kind of multiple server issues, and one of the servers introduced some bugs into the network, and it was kind of a cascade thing. And they immediately went to work on it with several engineers, and really to hear them describe, the depth of the issue, the fact that they were able to bring it back so fast was pretty good. The other thing it did, and it probably made a lot of people think about this, the more cloud-based we get, the more vulnerability we have to something like this. And so, what would you do if
What
you
would
had
you
all
do?
Yeah.
Yeah. So something weird that happened this week to me is I sit when I work and I have the monitor. The monitor is the activity on the servers, mainly the mail server. and I see a bunch of authentication failures, like happening real quick. And I'm looking up and I'm trying to see who it is, and the username kept changing. But and there were users that didn't even exist here. And the IP stayed the same. So I went on one of the servers and did a who is on the IP. And the IP is from Microsoft Network. The main Microsoft Network. So I sent them an email to Abuse, and I said, here's a piece of the log. It's weird that it's coming from your network. Didn't hear anything yet. But it's interesting to see something like this. This is obviously some bot or some. I don't know if it's a person. I kind of doubt it's a person doing it this quick. But they're trying to send mail through our mail server. And it's interesting how fast. I mean, we always hear and read about how fast they can do it, but when you see it just scrolling about 500 lines of log with 500 different usernames in like less than 5 seconds, it's amazing. No wonder they get us. So right now, the Microsoft Network is blocked from Delta Force for any kind of connection to a mail server.
And on that note, I just heard from a good friend of mine that the movie Hackster is available on Amazon Instant Video in case you want to watch it.
Hackster?
What is it?
Hackster.
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a movie about hackers.
Oh.
It's a movie about hackers?
Hey, since we have the patent attorney here with us today.
Uh-oh.
In the news, Google patent reveals an ad-based taxi service. And how this would work is it would advertise a deal or a sale and then provide either free or discounted taxi service to get people to the place of the business. Interesting. Can you see little Google taxis running around?
Based on the ad?
Yeah. They will offer, like on your smartphone and stuff like that, you'll see ads, deals and stuff like that. And you could get a free or a discounted taxi ride. Of course, most of us have cars or bikes or...
So we want to get people to the store who don't have enough money to buy a car.
There you go. Words of wisdom.
Well, they're probably the biggest spenders. That's why they can't afford a car.
Yeah.
And... Oh, so it's not based on the ad.
Yeah. So I'm sure Visa and MasterCard would be investors in this scheme, wouldn't they?
Oh, good point.
Dan says he's lost video again, and I'm looking at the stream. Bruce is frozen. Now he's not.
Where are you watching, on the web or?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because of Bamboozer. Just click on one of the others.
Which one do we like better, Daily Motion?
Daily Motion is nice because they adjust the quality to your bandwidth. You can go in, if you just hover over the video, you'll see at the top either that you see the number, that 360, 480, 720, whatever. You can change it if you want to, but they adjust it.
Andrew says video on Daily Motion looks bad.
Something. When did he say? Oh, geez. Okay, well, go to Vaughn. I mean, again, wait a second. Andrew, good morning. Andrew's, what do you call it? What do you call the thing that you measure by?
We call them rulers.
No, Andrew is used to HD, so I don't know if he's saying that it's bad.
No, he knows the difference.
Okay.
He said Vaughn looks good. What it means, Dan, is that if you look under the video, there's a link that says Bamboozer, another one that says Vaughn, Daily Motion, Justin on audio only.
Well, there goes.
If you click on...
Go ahead.
Tony says Daily Motion looks good.
Yeah.
Andrew says Vaughn looks good. Bamboozer, and for some reason, Amnon is still using it, but you might want to click over to Vaughn or Daily Motion.
Choice is what we're all about here on the Computers 2K. No?
It's not, but it's not by choice that I'm using Bamboozer. I can't find the time to sit down and rework the scheme. I will. It works, he says. Okay, good. Andrew, unless you're shy, you could call in since... No, I'm going to go about it this way. Andrew, you are invited to call in via video.
I was going to say he's hungover, but I didn't want to be rude. And, of course, he just said in chat he's hungover.
Yeah. Oh, well.
So no need asking him how's it hanging.
No, he said hangover, not hung out.
See, I'll tell you a tech thing that I've really enjoyed using this week, and it's a service called Plex. And you can download the Plex server. It's one of those media server programs like XMBC or others like that. I think PlayOn has one. But so you can put all your video content, your photos, your music, and everything, but then you can share your Plex server with other people. And so I have some friends who have shared their Plex server with me. And, there are some people that have just done a tremendous job in cataloging and labeling music by genre and albums and movies and this sort of thing. And I have really, really enjoyed it because there is a Plex app available for the Roku. Of course, there's a Plex app available for iOS and Android smartphones as well. But it's just really interesting. I can take my Samsung Galaxy Note here and open up the Plex app. I can see shared servers. And I have access to over 2,000 movies and TV shows. My wife and I enjoyed watching off a shared Plex server 2 episodes of Sherlock, the BBC version, and we love Sherlock. The episodes are an hour and 25 minutes long, and they're quite interesting. I love the way the British camera work is done. It's really intriguing. So anyway, you might want to check it out. It's really, really a cool service and great technology if you like entertainment that way.
Okay, Sherlock.
Okay. I haven't got a clue what you've said.
Since Gene is here in the chat, where is it? Earlier this week, the rumor mill was getting revved up about a potential sale of IBM's x86 server business, with Lenovo, Dell, and Fujitsu reportedly all interested in scooping it up. On Thursday, Lenovo Group announced it has agreed to buy IBM's x86 server hardware business and related maintenance services for $2.3 billion. The deal encompasses IBM's System X, Blade Center, and Flex System Blade servers and switches, x86-based Flex integrated system, Nextscale, and iDataplex servers and associated software. blade networking and maintenance operations. IBM will retain its System Z mainframes, power systems, storage systems, power-based flex servers, and pure application and pure data appliances. This is amazing. One of these days, you tell some looks like pretty soon, you'll tell somebody IBM and they say, what? What's IBM? Isn't that amazing? The Chinese are gobbling us up again. And if they choose to put malware in computers, oh boy, are we in for a surprise. So, Gene, what do you have to say about that? Is it a good move by IBM or a bad move? And I don't understand why they would do that either. Why
they would get rid of that part of the server business?
Yeah, but why? I mean, it seems like servers are becoming more
They're
and
still
more
in the mainframe business. They're only getting out of the x86 business.
right.
The Windows servers,
Well,
Linux servers.
Didn't they also this week sell off another portion to Lenovo, if I'm not mistaken?
Well, the x86 portion is what they sold to
Yeah.
Lenovo.
Oh, okay. All right, gotcha.
yeah.
Hey, guess what, guys? We can't sing it because it's a patented song, but Apple had its 30th birthday this week. Happy
The
birthday.
Mac, the Mac,
Apple.
not
The Mac.
Apple, the Mac.
The Mac.
Yeah,
Yeah. We know we have some Mac fans out there, so
that them,
happy
huh?
happy birthday.
Uh-oh. There's a problem with the call. Mike, you still here? No.
No, I think he's got some bandwidth issues for whatever reason.
Well, he said
It'll-
he checked it.
It will work to bring him back.
You know you just lost Skype, don't you?
I lost Skype.
Yeah, and the stream is down. Did you guys just use video, or is it just me?
Oh,
Let me see if the stream
It's
is
just
down.
you. It's just you.
Yeah.
We lost you. We lost your video. Your audio
Oh.
is starting to go away.
Yeah.
The stream is still up.
Yeah,
and
the stream
strong.
is up.
We do see your picture though, so
Okay.
hang on. Maybe it'll come back.
It's something that must be going on with my internet.
Hmm. I hate that when that happens.
Why doesn't it show up?
Gene says that IBM research and development so big that they really challenge product margins. What? Oh, wait. First he says IBM probably continuing to get rid of business that don't bring the gross margins they want, like with PCs.
Okay, my download speed is 32.93 megabits per second. My upload speed is 5.53 megabits per second. Ping time, 6 milliseconds.
There
That's
should
crazy.
be nothing wrong
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah. I'm 8 and 2 with a ping of 17 milliseconds. So maybe something in the other pipes you're going through.
Well, it's a while ago when I rebooted the computer, it was not the computer then. It has to be the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Part of it may be that Time Warner is working on the system here. They're
Question, Mike. When you're checking, who you check with?
Time Warner.
No, don't.
It does. If it doesn't work to Time Warner, it doesn't work outside the network. If it's outside
No. My point is, whenever I had the problem, remember, I mean, it would show 300K. With Time Warner, it would show beautifully. It's the way it's supposed to be. It's when it leaves Time Warner, it gets stuck somewhere. So you need to check with like speedtest.net, or I started using testmy.net, and it shows you when it gets out there. I mean, this is...
I'm doing speedtest.net now, and it's 22 milliseconds ping time to the Duke, and
Yeah, that's good.
33 down so far.
Yeah, that's how you should check. If you see
I'm
that...
getting pretty much the same results that long time, what you would expect.
Wow, it's getting really bad. Even your audio is getting bad.
I'm just going to shut down.
You need to restart again.
I'm going to shut down the modem and everything.
Yeah, that may. I need to do it today. I'll hopefully it's not. I forgot to do it this week. The list of passwords. Wait, let's stay here a little bit with this. Obama is afraid of the Chinese, so will do absolutely nothing. Dan is talking about buying the Apple IIc. That was what? That was like early 80s, right?
Yeah,
Apple
very
IIc,
early 80s. Yeah.
yeah.
I remember I was pastoring my first church in Meridian, Mississippi, and we had an OBGYN doctor who was a member of the church. And I remember when he got the Apple IIc, and we'd have little hangouts over at his house, and he had all these interesting games on it, the early role-playing games that were all text-based. And it was quite a lot of fun.
Let me see what happens if I move this over here and over here. I guess I can get Bruce in there like that. It's a little big, but it's fine.
Maybe I should sit back from the camera. I don't want to be in your face.
So, passwords. Dethroned in 2013 is the password, which was the most used. What is the one that's most used in 2013?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, something like that.
Yes. And in the order that they are being used, and really you should never use any of these passwords because that's the hackers check these first. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Password 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. QWERTY. ABC 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. No, 6 ones. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. At least it's there's a variation there. I love you with lowercase I. Adobe 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Admin. Can you imagine somebody putting admin as a password? And it's probably an admin.
Yeah.
1 through 0. Let me in, all in one word. Photoshop. 1, 2, 3, 4. This guy uses pin numbers. Monkey. Shadow. Sunshine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Password 1. Oh, wow. Princess. Azurity. Trust no, and the number 1. Trust no 1. And 6 zeros. That's the top 25. Or 26. But these days, for anybody not to use the right password, and the right password we're talking about is a strong password, and I do see a lot of sites that when you go to enter a password, they actually tell you whether it's weak or strong, and this is very nice. But you should always use, and we said it again and again, and I feel like a broken record, lowercase uppercase, numbers, and special characters. Now, unfortunately, banks, for some reason, the main financial sites don't allow you to use special characters, from my experience.
Bank of America does.
Okay, well, maybe they're getting there. But a lot of them say, no, you can only use alphanumeric. Well, even with alphanumeric, you can still be creative enough that you can create a strong password if you mix lowercase and uppercase and numbers and don't use a word. If you want to use the word George, you can put G capital O, G capital E O, number 5, and continue. That by itself makes it strong, because even though no, it's not strong. I would put that in medium, because I don't know how the hackers' software works, but brute force attack may find that.
One of the things that I like to do, and it's easy to do, is if you pick a word, like a word that's got the letter A in it, the letter S in it, letter L in it, and I try to find words, that incorporate, all of those things. I like substituting the @ sign for the letter A, the 5 for the letter S, because it's kind of, way. And then you use some other number combinations.
The L and the 1, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Hey, and since we're on this, and let me just toss this out here for discussion. And of course, some of our listeners will know that I was a pastor for 35 years, and I'm a chaplain, and still work for a Christian ministry. And I have seen a number of situations where a totally unexpected, here just in the last 2 weeks, a 45-year-old pastor, graduate of the college that I went to, Sunday morning got up to get ready to go to church, and his wife found him on the floor. He had a stroke. By Sunday afternoon, he was dead, and he was gone. And many of us men, and this is just primarily a message to all of the guys who are listening, I want to encourage you. Number one, you better have a will. As a matter of fact, you do have a will. It's the one the state wrote for you, but you need to have a will. But the other thing closely associated with that is you need to create, and I don't know, maybe something we could call it an I Love You book, actually. Because, many times, not always, but, especially guys who are in tech, you have a website, you've got emails, you've got, in my case, you got TalkShoe and SoundCloud and Bamboozer and all these places, blogs where I have usernames and passwords. I have a lot of electronic funds transfer stuff that comes out. My wife may not have a clue. If something happened to me and I were to be gone, she'd be in a really, really tough spot. So since we're talking about passwords, guys, do yourself and your wife a favor. Show her your love for her and create some kind of a document that you can keep secure. I realize that's an issue. So that if something happens, she knows who to call, your insurance, your life insurance companies, your 401k login, your electronic funds transfers with all the companies you use, whether it's the electric power company or the phone service or whatever, your websites, your Facebook, your Google Plus, all that stuff. If you don't, you're making a big mistake.
Absolutely. It could be a real problem. I mean, I remember a good friend of mine, Ben Mann, passed away, and he was a computer guru. His wife couldn't get on the computer after he passed away. We're talking a long time ago, before the days of, password, we can break those passwords. She called and she asked me, how can she do this? And there was no way that we could figure it out. She couldn't get on the bank account, and she had to go with an attorney. And I guess banks are not so willing to help you when you're down and out like that with passwords. It was a long and painful process for her to get to everything that was there. At that point, I actually went ahead and I created a document with all the password and told my wife where it is. It was nowhere that even if somebody picked it up, they wouldn't know what it is if they just read it, unless they know what they're looking for. Yeah. And I keep on updating it and printing it again and replacing. You have to do that.
Yeah, I actually created it as a Christmas gift one year. I wrapped it up, and it was one of the greatest gifts that you can give somebody. And my most closest experience of this involves my daughter's son-in-law, who passed away in his sleep at age 31, totally unexpected. And had he not on his iPhone be already logged into his Gmail, that was crucial for us, because I was able to go in and I was going into a sent file and I could see all the notifications about his bills and the ETFs, and so I knew what to expect that would be withdrawn at a certain time. Of course, once those accounts were closed, it was no longer an issue, but it could have been an issue. Yeah, and and Andrew's saying, if you fear your wife getting into your Facebook, you have a much bigger problem. And he says, I know so many couples that do not share that info with each other. I hope that that you don't have the kinds of secrets. I know couples that do a joint Facebook account. I don't think that's absolutely necessary, but I know some that do. I also know a lot of people who've had their marriages busted up in social media. So don't have any secrets. That's just my personal opinion. So that's my sermonette for the day.
No, that's good. Yeah. Good information.
If you think it's good information, Amnon, all you have to say is one word. You just say, amen.
Amen.
It means so be it.
Mike?
Well, welcome back, Mike.
Oh, thank you. I'm still getting some breaking up from you guys, so I don't know how it's going to go. If it's not going,
you're still getting what?
It's still getting some breaking up in the audio from you guys. And I've rebooted everything.
Wow.
So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and breaking up is hard to do.
It is.
Those of you that are Mac users, Mac Rumors is reporting on pervasive GPU failures in 2011 MacBook Pro machines, leading both to intermittent video issues, corruption, caching and freezing, and eventually even failure to boot. Luckily for Apple, the machines are now out of warranty, unless you bought AppleCare. The issues have been reported both on Apple's own forums and other blogs. Apple has so far failed to take action on the problem. Will they take ownership of the issue or continue to ask customers to pay for an entire new logic board when just the GPU fails? That's interesting that from 2011 now they are beginning to really break down and they can say, yeah, GPU problem on MacBook Pro machines. So if you have a MacBook Pro that was produced in 2011, you got something to look forward to, maybe. If it's still working and you think you can get warranty, you should. I don't know if they do that, but it'll be a good idea to do.
Hey, on the Gmail note, I just found on this story is interesting. The day after, which was yesterday, that Gmail had this little Google glitch and everything. There was an organic search results for the term Gmail produced a link to a Hotmail account flooding a California man's inbox with thousands of unwanted messages. TechCrunch noticed the bug after being tipped off on Saturday and was able to reproduce it several times. Googling Gmail returned a list of organic results reading Gmail-email from Google with a subheader reading simply email. Clicking on the subheader would open up a composed email window with a particular Hotmail address already in the address field. You know, dealing with email is tough enough without having this kind of thing happen. Poor guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. At least he didn't get spammed by a refrigerator.
That's true.
Did you hear that story?
I did. I like the way people come up with headlines.
Uh-huh.
There's a story from Digital Trends that says Microsoft's Surface tablet sales double from horrendous to pretty bad. Although I do have a good friend of mine, his son was just given a Microsoft Surface Pro 2 tablet as part of his job, and he seems to be pretty happy with it. And we have a caller.
Hello, Senor Zerian.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Yeah, could be better.
Good morning, Andrew.
Good morning, Bruce. How are you?
I'm doing great. Good to hear you.
So
had a long night last night.
Yeah?
You had fun, didn't you?
Yeah, Spencer was in town, so we went to Uncle Jack's Steakhouse by me.
Mm.
And we didn't get in until about 2 o'clock in the morning.
Steakhouse and bar.
Steakhouse and bar.
Yep.
What's your favorite cut of meat?
I like a bone-in filet.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
I like a porterhouse too, but the bone-in filet is my favorite.
Mm.
So what's up, Andrew?
Nothing much. I'm calling the show. I just want to say hello and see how everyone's doing.
So you have a 2011 MacBook Pro?
I do. I do have a 2011 MacBook Pro. Never had any GPU issues. It's been pretty solid, but I did start having a problem about 2 months ago. I put an SSD drive in this thing in 2011, so instantly, as soon as I got it, I put an SSD. And really, you know, you always hear about the stories about how the longevity of these SSD drives are not that great. And some people report 3 years, some people report 2 years, and other people say it's phenomenal. The SSD on my MacBook Pro that I put in from 2011, it's starting to go. I mean, it's about to die. I'm getting kernel panics. Applications are crashing. It's not allowing the system to shut down. So I attribute it to the SSD more than anything else.
Well,
but how do you check? How do you know if the SSD is starting to go bad?
Mike?
The only thing I can think of is download the manufacturer's disk test utility and see it reports an error on the SSD.
Because even when I go to delete a file, for example, it'll stay there, won't delete it. It'll take maybe 20 seconds to delete the file.
The question, of course, I don't know what the equivalent utility is in Mac for scan disk, but there's got to be a utility that will go through and do a file test on the hard drive.
Yeah, I mean, when I did it, everything shows normal, but it's bizarre that everything's starting to crash, and the only thing really different is the SSD, I think. I'm also having the same sort of problem on my Windows machine with the same exact SSD. So, and I got them around at the same time.
Are they still in warranty?
No, 2011.
They have 3-year warranties.
Mike, your video and audio is going bad. I tell you what I'm going to do. I think
I'm going to give up.
I'm going to just on the chance that it may have something to do, even though with Bruce it's okay. How about I'll restart Skype?
Why don't I test it with Mike off the air to see if he's having problems to me?
All right.
Sounds like a plan.
I'll do that now with Mike.
Yeah, actually, I don't want to restart
Yeah, I'll do that right now with him.
Skype.
Right.
If I restart Skype, it's going to go into
Hey, speaking of birthdays, I noticed that Vine turned 1 year old yesterday. I don't use Vine, but I don't. In fact, I really don't know. I think a lot of people used it for a while, but I'm wondering how many people actually use Vine. It'd be interesting if anybody in the chat can chime in. Do you use Vine?
And there is Senor Nick is here with us.
Yeah, I bet Nick uses Vine.
Let's see. Hey, Nick? Nicholas, we can't hear you if you can hear us. Earth calling Nick.
Can you hear me now?
Very low.
Skype is such a joke of a program.
Raise, yeah, I know. I have to do same thing. Just raise your volume.
It's up all the way.
Wow. Raise the gain.
I'm not messing. It's not the board.
You know, our company uses Microsoft Link, and of course, Link bought Skype. Microsoft bought Skype, and they're saying that, pretty soon Link is going to be their one-all type thing. I don't know, but whether it's Skype or whether it's Link, in every video conference that I'm in, there is at least a half a dozen or more times where the audio of the room at our home office, fades out, and then it comes back. And it stays good for a while, then it'll fade out, and it'll come back, and it's really frustrating. I never ever had that experience with a product called Zoom that I use for video conference calls for other venues, but I don't. It's kind of interesting. I mean, I don't recall Skype in its earlier days having as much issues as they seem to be having today.
Well, that's Microsoft for you.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I hear you good.
So, Emily, you're not live on Justin TV, right?
I'm what?
You're not streaming to Justin TV?
Let me check that.
It's offline here.
So, Nick, let me ask you, XSplit has come up with a brand new product called Gamecaster. Have you looked into that?
No, I'm done with XSplit. I've had so many issues with it. Let's see, Gamecaster.
I'm surprised I'm surprised you wouldn't have at least looked at it just to check it out.
Yeah.
No, I've just completely turned anything off about XSplit.
Hey, guys. No, he's having like 60% packet loss.
Wow.
Yeah. He tried 2 different machines, so there's something going on with the internet.
Even here in Lynchburg where I'm at, my call quality icon is yellow. So, there could be something going on, with the
One of the
traffic.
No, the call quality icon will always be yellow no matter what you do.
That's not been my experience.
I called myself on 2 different Skype accounts, and my call quality was yellow.
No, I've had good call quality. Most of the time, it's normal. It could be a bad hop. I mean, that happens.
Yeah.
Mike and I have tested this.
I had a bad problem with Nashville with Kirk. Whenever Kirk would do the show, it was like that for 2 months. He could not call me. The way that we ended up doing it was that he ended up calling Suncast in Detroit, and Suncast was calling me with his video. And they just fixed it. I mean, it was a hop that was bad, and they ended up fixing it. I had that weird problem in Atlanta 2 years ago where I could not connect to anybody in the South.
Nick, are you not on your machine?
No, I'm on my machine.
Why don't we have video?
There is video.
Nope. All I see
Not
is
here.
all
You
I
might want
see
to
is
stop
your
it and
logo.
restart it.
I haven't done anything. It's on now.
No.
I think because Mike dropped from it, it messed it up.
I see my video.
Yeah, you might try stopping and restarting it because we don't see it here. The reason I've got the yellow bar when I click on it is because it says my video quality is low because of internet connection. So, there could be something going on in this area with traffic.
It's totally possible. I mean, I started like last month, every maybe a couple hours, sporadically. My service goes out for about a couple seconds, then comes right back. And it's not enough to kill the modem or disrupt the signal, but everything, I could see everything, Skype shuts down and it comes right back up, and it's on all my machines. And what do you do when that happens? You call the cable company and tell them, oh, my internet's going out for a second every couple hours.
Yeah, they don't.
Is it on now?
No, it's not. It's just your
Program
logo.
is such a piece of shit. I mean, my audio wasn't working till I went into the Windows sound card settings and viewed my sound card. Now my video's not working. Oh my god. Emran, we should try Hangouts for the show.
Yeah.
No, we should.
It actually might be easier for you to do that, Amnon.
I just don't understand why.
You don't have to deal with a switcher, nothing. It automatically switches.
It's just stupid.
Or Zoom.
Oh, there's Spencer.
Zoom, yeah. Zoom is great, too. I actually really like Zoom. The problem is nobody else uses Zoom. The video quality is excellent.
Growing all the time. They're making tremendous inroads in the educational field, universities. Just tons of people using Zoom as a commercial product.
Unfortunately, you have to pay for it.
I got an email the other day from someone, Bruce, and it drove me nuts. They were asking me, they go, we do telepresence meetings, and we want to be able to record locally. So I want to be able to record the meeting. What can I use for Skype? And I told them, well, you're going to need a screen capture. You're going to need a Soundflower or SoundCloud, whatever. I think it's Soundflower. With the Mac or on Windows, you need to get another piece of software and record the audio, and you can do the video, or you can get Wirecast. But the easiest thing to do is get Zoom.us. How long are you meeting?
Absolutely.
And they're like, oh, it's under an hour. I go, okay. I think they could do the free service for under an hour.
40 minutes, yeah. I do all my screencasts. I mean, I have Camtasia. The quickest and easiest way to do a quick and dirty screencast is for me to open up a screen sharing thing. It takes my audio, creates an MP4. The size, is good. I can attach and send it to my team as an email. It just works great. And as far as the cost, not everybody has to have the $10 a month Zoom Premium. All it takes is that one person. But if I were doing video regularly, $10 a month is a small price to pay to have the functionality and the quality of Zoom compared to what you have to pay for a GoToMeeting or WebEx or any of that other stuff out there.
What was amazing is that they wanted to invest into Wirecast and they wanted to get a Skype machine. I told them, I'm like, just get Zoom.us. And they were so adamant in not getting it. They go, no, we want to use Skype. Well, why? There's no reason to use Skype. Just use Zoom.us. Well, no, we want to use Skype. Okay, then use Skype.
Well, the only reason we use Skype again and again and again is because Mike insists that the audio quality is much better.
It is.
It is much better. But for this guy, he's doing a meeting with colleagues. They're all on laptops anyway. Just a meeting with colleagues.
Yeah.
So there's no reason to stick with Skype if that's the case. Whatever. I mean, and you want to record it? It'd be phenomenal if Skype did that. Could you imagine if Skype had, a
recorder? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they will be adding stuff like that with Link especially.
Talk about a resource hog at this point.
Yeah, I will tell you this. I do. This is the only Skype video call that I do every week, but I do 2, sometimes 3 Zoom video conference calls every week. And I will tell you that, and I know my ear's not as fine-tuned as others, but I will tell you that I don't think there's enough appreciable difference in the audio quality to make a difference for the kind of show that we do.
Oh no, I think for most people it's fine.
Yeah.
I actually really like the service, and the switch is phenomenal too. It's a very good switcher.
Right.
I always think about, when I started podcasting in 08, 09, none of these services were available. I mean, you couldn't do a group conference call on Skype. There was no Google Hangouts. And I would have saved so much money. I probably would have never invested into VidBlast or Wirecast. I would have just stuck with Google Hangout and recorded it straight to my YouTube and called it a day.
Mm-hmm.
And think about how much money I would have saved with that,
Nick, what did you do to get the video?
I left the call and joined it.
Oh.
Yeah, if someone leaves a call, if it's a group video call on Skype and someone leaves it, like Mike left,
yeah,
you'll have a problem having a new person reconnect.
I like your Minecraft shirt, Nick.
Oh, thank you.
They really messed up when they went to that cloud-based instead of peer-to-peer. They're still having a lot of problems, and it delayed Skype 7. Skype 7 was supposed to be here probably a couple weeks ago. And they had
Bruce,
so many issues. Yes, so many issues with it. They just delayed it now.
What'd you say, Nick?
Bruce, you brought up the thing about XSplit. What are they offering now?
It's a new program. It's all geared toward gaming. It's called Gamecaster. In fact, when you go to see if you can get it, if you check, I'm not gaming, they won't give you access to it. You have to be involved in the gamecasting world. So I could have checked it, and gotten it, but I'm playing around with XSplit 2.0 beta, a new one a new version they've got coming out. But I was just interested because this one is strictly for games, and when you look at the video and some of the stuff on their blog, it just kind of looks interesting. So you were the only person I know that's personally that's into game casting.
The reason I moved away from XSplit is first of all, it's a resource hog. It just doesn't do a good job with text. The text stuff built inside of it is horrendous. The whole drag and drop stuff just got annoying. And OBS is much less a resource hog. It doesn't have virtual camera, which is fine because I don't use that. But for the most part, the one thing that OBS brings, Bruce, it's interesting over XSplit, is things called global sources. So,
Right.
for example, in XSplit, when you set up a lower third, right, you have to drag that image in, and if you have 3 different shots with your camera, you have to drag that lower third in every time. With OBS, there's this global source thing, so you add it to a global source, and then instead of having to drag the media file in every time, you just add the global source, which will change based on whatever the shot is. So if you edit the shot in scene 4, it edits in scene 1, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, this, and that's I think that brings up a really good point because, there are some products that work good for some things. Like this is, I'm on XSplit right now on Skype. I can change cameras. I can go to different things. I can bring up my TV
as they identify
channel.
the killer.
I can go to a video that I have ready for a group that I'm doing tonight. It's a really nice video. But anyway, so for what I do, it works fine. But I do have Open Broadcaster, and I like that too. I think I'd really like to see them add the virtual camera, and they say they're working on it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of third-party plugins for Open Broadcaster. A lot of them, hundreds.
Yeah, I haven't used it in a while, so I need to check out those plugins.
Yeah, I'll send you a link to there's a whole forum for it.
So it's growing in popularity.
Yeah, the gaming people have dropped XSplit and gone to OBS because it's just so much less of a resource hog.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what's that going to do to XSplit development.
Well, they have no third-party development, which really sucks. That's always bad. That's what I feel has always been their biggest issue. Is that they don't allow their API? I don't believe their API is open, and if it is, nobody's developing for it. Like even with OBS, there's remote scene switchers, so you could switch a scene from anywhere, which is pretty cool.
Do they have plugins now for OBS? Like there's plugins for XSplit, where it makes it really easy to set up a broadcast to YouTube Live channel. Do they have anything like that for OBS?
Let me open it and look.
Mm.
What do you mean by easy to broadcast to YouTube Live?
Well, there's there when you're on XSplit and you want to add a channel, there are some default ones that are available, like Justin, Livestream, Popular.tv, Ustream, and YouTube Live. And so all you have to do is put your name and the name of your username and password in there, and as soon as you start broadcasting, you're live on your YouTube Live account.
Oh yeah. OBS has a YouTube built into their encoder as well.
Okay.
So can we all say that VidBlaster is pretty much dead at this point? There's no reason to get a VidBlaster.
No.
Why?
I don't think so. Because there's people still using it.
And what about Wirecast?
Why would? But let me just present.
Wait, Andrew.
Yeah.
What about Wirecast?
No. What I'm saying is, why would anybody use VidBlaster at this point when you have
sports?
You have OBS, you have Wirecast, and you have XSplit.
Sports.
For instant replays?
Yeah, VidBlaster is the only one that'll do it. And their video, I think their video player is superb to anything else. At least Wirecast's video players just recently got better, but there's still issues with it.
I mean, like for example, you cannot record in anything other than MPEG.
Yeah, no, that's a big issue. But I mean, for instant replay,
that's really like crazy.
Yeah, but there's good features as well. Unfortunately,
I don't know. The cons are outweighing the pros.
But what else would you use for instant replay? You'd literally have to buy a device and do buffering inside of the device, and then send that to a capture card.
That's the only thing that really works with it. That's the only thing that really is the advantage is instant replay.
If I was to broadcast sports, I'd have to use VidBlaster. You have no choice. Nothing else compares.
But that's the only real thing, right?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not really sure. I haven't used it much.
Interesting.
I'm on the forum now, and it's virtually dead.
Yeah, there was nothing really new in I don't know how long.
Oh. I hope it burns a slow death.
I'm still using version 2.
I have version 2 as a backup recorder on my other machine. I record in WMV as a backup just in case.
Well, you see, that's the nice thing. I'm not even recording it with Wirecast. I'm recording with FMLE, and I'm recording on the Ninja. But I never had to use the video from the Ninja, so I don't know how easy it'll be to take it and use it from a backup like that. But a lot of people don't realize that one of the things that we really need is a recording of what we do.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a thing of the past, that we need a local recording. I think most people now are just going to start recording straight to YouTube. With YouTube Live, I think that's phenomenal that instantly your video could be on there.
Yeah, that's a great feature.
I will tell you got to be really careful. I mean, I've got a friend of mine who's a professional music writer, who's written stuff for MTV, E Channel, several other networks, and it's getting really sticklish. If you got a sound, this guy Judson Lee Music, he gave me 2 tracks to use. So I use one for my intro and one for my background music when I'm doing my podcast. And I started using that, and I was not even intending to have any music on this YouTube Live thing. We had a phone conference. We had 1,900 people dialed in. It was about the company that I work for, and I was going to stream the audio YouTube, so that my team could watch it and hear what was going on without them having to be on the phone conference, because they needed to be available on the phones, because all the people on the conference, all they had to do was press a number key, and it would directly pass them to our inbound queue. And so rather than have any dead air while I was waiting for the conference to start, I played some of this background music, and I played my intro and the background music, and I got 2 hits from YouTube, and found out one of the guys was actually selling this track on an Amazon.co.uk site as part of an album, and I disputed it and gave him the email address of the original composer of both of these tracks, and they got taken down. But they're getting really sticklers. People out there are grabbing content and using it on ad revenue generated videos, and they're claiming it as their own when it's not their own. And it's this friend of mine said it's really gotten bad in the last couple of months.
Oh, Bruce, I've had the problem with. I put up a video a couple years ago. It was made in iMovie with the stock audio that they provide you with, and I uploaded it to YouTube, and I got flagged for copyright infringement for the audio that was used.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, and I'm thinking, how does that happen? It's audio that's provided by iMovie, and I'm uploading it. And they said they flagged my account. I disputed it, and it took a couple months.
Bruce, you said they're becoming sticklers about it, right?
According to this guy, it's gotten worse, and he's got a lot of audio content out there that he's sold and created for people.
See, unfortunately, it's not. It is YouTube, but it isn't. So they have their new system for copyright and stuff like that. So, Bruce, let's say you've composed a piece of music. You would go into this YouTube database, submit your music, and say, "Hey, I'm the copyright owner of it. I composed it, or whatever else." And then when anybody uses your audio and a video, they match it up with whatever's in that database, and then they pull it down. But the issue that they're having right now is like what you said, is that people are uploading other people's musics and claiming copyright to it.
Right, exactly.
That's the biggest issue.
That's it. Yep.
I have a problem with what they do, because I think they're doing it half-assed. On Julie's show, she wanted to use Anya's Book of Days or something like that as her theme. And of course, you couldn't use the original one, so I went and looked and found a version of it that's like electronic music on, I can't remember which site it was, one of those that provides free and royalty free and all that. And we used it forever. And when I start putting it on YouTube, they were flagging it as copyrighted. So with the Computers 2K Now, I went and disputed everything, and they took it out. They cleared it because there was, I could give them the URL of where I got it from, and I said, here, and here's the license. I gave them the two links. When I went looking for the one for Julie, I couldn't find it there anymore. So I said, okay, well, maybe they dropped it or whatever. So I downloaded I deleted all the videos from there because I didn't know any better at the time that you can actually do stuff on YouTube. I deleted the intro, the music, completely from the video and uploaded them all back. There is that worked because it was a new video. Then I started taking it out with the YouTube utility, when you edit. What do you call it, Nick?
It's the YouTube editor, the built-in editor.
Yeah, and you can remove a section of the video. So I removed all those. But at that point, it was already flagged as third party. And there's absolutely no way that to let them know to rescan it or to go through it or whatever to see that, okay, there is no more music there. It's gone. None of the options work. I sent an email to what I think is a contact for them. This was like the beginning of December. I haven't heard a thing yet. But that's a problem by itself. When you go ahead and you do what you would think they would want you to do, is remove a section of it that is maybe copyrighted, and it's still flagged as such. So a lot of people telling me that, oh, don't worry about this. You know, a lot of the videos are flagged as such, and it doesn't mean much. I was actually this week, I was thinking, you know, about 4 years ago, when we started doing it on the internet, I almost went ahead and got a BMI ASCAP license, and I remember going through it with the authorities, quote unquote, and I think they were saying for new media it's something like $280 some or $183 a year, and they say that will allow you to play whatever you want. I said I only want to play one score, which is the theme of the show that when we had it on the radio station was paying the license. And I never did it because we changed it. I mean, Mike didn't like it. It was that computer love. And we changed. But I'm thinking, you know, it'll be nice. I mean, I don't mind today to pay $200, $300 a year and get a license that I can play all the music I want, any music I want. I mean, Mike wants to show something and he wants to play the music, but I told him, and Bruce, don't play any more music because YouTube finds out. And now that we're using YouTube for the archiving, we can't do that. So I may do it. What were you saying, Nick? I'm sorry.
Okay, so I don't really know how this works because I've never really uploaded my shows to YouTube because I've always been afraid to get them pulled down. So you upload something to YouTube and let's say it's got copyrighted audio or video. Do they pull the video or do they just flag it?
There's just a flag for you to know that they figure that there is something there that's third party, and they give you.
And what if you don't want to monetize? Is that a big deal?
I'm monetizing all of them, and they're monetizing it.
Okay, so what if I don't want to monetize? It doesn't matter if there's third party content.
Makes
Will they still
no
pull
difference
the video?
whether you do or you don't. It's a copyright. I think they're covering their behind by doing this and putting that notice on it.
The question I'm asking though is that the reason that you're disputing it is because you want to make money on the video.
No, that's not the reason. I mean, Nick, you guys know me. I like to be straight as far as the law goes. I see a notice like this, I get scared.
Okay.
I say, "Oh no, yeah. I don't want to get in trouble." And that's why I was disputing it, because I said, "Okay, now here it is. That's where I got it. It is free. They saying it's free. Here's the license. You can read it." And they took all these notices off of the first batch that I had that on. But then for the other one, I couldn't find the link anymore, so I figured I'm going to have to take it out.
Well, here's what happened to me
Go ahead.
When I was doing that live stream with that music, they immediately stopped the live stream.
They did not. They never did it. They never took any of mine down. Even when we had the actual songs, part of songs within the video, like the wall songs we did on 9/11, and there was Anya, what is that, in something of an angel, what is it? In the Arms of an Angel. And it was a video that we got from YouTube, and we played it during the show about fallen soldiers. This was flagged, but they never took it down. They just told me it's flagged. I never put it back up.
Yeah, if you get 3 strikes, YouTube channel is a very valuable resource. Okay, and especially for some people, not so much for me. But when they lowered the bar to where all you had to have was 500 subscribers to get YouTube Live, I mean that was a huge thing.
Yeah. And
when I got 3 strikes before,
how?
Well, I had permission from from somebody within an organization to capture their live video and make it available to a small group that I deal with.
Right.
But somebody in their media department didn't know that and flagged me twice. And I lost the ability to stream to YouTube Live, and I was downgraded to where I could only upload a 15-minute video, no more than 15 minutes.
I don't understand.
So
that.
those got removed. They worked really hard, and they apologized. So now I got everything back. But then when I did this little snafu, it was a 9-minute and 40-second video that I was just streaming until the conference call started, and I was going to turn off the music, and I had no intention of saving it. But when I did that, they stopped the live stream. I could still see that 9-minute and 40-minute video if I clicked on the notices, copyright notices tab, but it was not available for anybody else to see. Nobody else could find it or watch it, period.
I had over 100 of these notices of third party.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any strikes. When you go in there, you're in good standing. You don't have any strikes and all that. So I don't know.
I guess it depends on kind of notification. You can acknowledge the third-party content, and then that seems to be okay. But if you dispute it, it actually begins a legal process. And by the way, I just want to say, because I know we've been talking about YouTube, how great it is to see Steve in the chat. And, man, we have really missed you, Steve, and it's so good to hear from you.
What in the world? I didn't see that.
Yeah. So a shout-out to Steve. And been having some well, anyway, you can read the chat and everything. So had some physical unwellness.
Any reason you're not connecting to Skype, Steve?
Okay, so Bruce, if I understood what you said, so then if I get 3 copyright claims, which would be strikes, my channel will get pulled.
No. I mean, I've got right now. If I'll take you to the YouTube channel of Nissan Communications, there are probably about 50 that have a
flag is different than a strike.
Correct.
Okay, so you see, I don't know
what a
strike
is a warning.
is.
If you get 3 strikes, you're out. Your channel is closed.
Yeah. Okay.
You still have the channel, but you have no YouTube live streaming, and you can't upload videos more than 15 minutes in length.
Yeah, they bring it back down to what it was like 3 years ago when you created a YouTube channel.
And my understanding is that if 6 months go by, I think it's 6 months. 6 months go by without any other issues, you'll be restored back to regular.
So I started doing my show again, and I did one on Friday night. And so we have intro music. We have...
which is from a...
It's from a place, but I mean, who really... It might get pulled anyway. They don't just
take it down. They give you a chance to take it down or to dispute it. You can remove it, and then it's not a strike against you.
Okay, so then the second thing is music from a video game, which could possibly be flagged.
Yeah, you what you need to do is you need to upload one and see what happens.
And then the other thing is I play videos during the show with no audio. How does that work? They still pull for that because they used to pull for that.
I don't know how they could check for that unless they were spot checking. That'd be a huge undertaking. I mean, it's easy for...
No, they actually, I mean, your video goes through what I would call a scanner, the whole video, because those videos that had the songs in the middle, they tell you exactly at what point it starts, at what point it ends. And another one, what point it starts and what point it ends. So, but it's not an automatic thing that you get a strike. I think if you dispute it and then they say, no, it is true, but you leave it anyway. I don't know.
Because I would like to upload to YouTube for another place for people to watch, but I don't want to deal with.
Here's what I did for our music now, the one that we changed to, because the music before that is also free, but it flags it as third party. And I'm tired to every time to go in and dispute it again and again and again. So I ask, I mean, isn't it enough that we do it once? I mean, you realize that it is free, then why is it keep on? So I got tired of it. So I changed to that other one. And what I did is I uploaded the music only to the channel and left it there for about a week or two, and there was no flagging or anything. So I said, okay, I guess I can use this one. And that's why we're using that new music.
Okay, yeah, because like I've uploaded all of my shows from episode.
Now you see that's too much work if you're going to if you find out that.
No, I'm saying I've uploaded episodes 35 through 48 on Daily Motion, and I've had no issues.
I don't think Daily Motion says anything. It's only
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah, so that's kind of my fears. I don't want to deal with it.
Take one.
I'll take my most recent one and I'll have to
upload it to YouTube, and the third party thing comes on within an hour or two.
Okay, I'll have to upload it after the show.
And see if it does. If it is, first thing first is remove it, delete it.
Okay.
But I have not. I mean, Bruce, are you saying that you had a situation where it automatically was a strike, even though they told you to really, you need to take it down? Because the notice, the flagging, does not say take it down. It allows you to dispute it. I mean, there are like 7 different options, but none of them.
I'm just telling you, while I was live,
Yeah.
I got the notification, and the stream was shut down.
Maybe on
I
YouTube
had to
Live?
quickly restart another stream with
Yeah.
no audio playing in the background as far as music, so that I could get on and accomplish my task of being able to provide an opportunity for my team to hear the audio of the phone conference.
Well, it may be different on YouTube Live. I have no idea. I don't have an experience with YouTube Live because for our show, YouTube Live is worthless. It's the, for those of you who wonder why I say that, it's because it's about 30 seconds delay and there's no way to interact. But that's interesting. Maybe when you do YouTube Live, they run that scanner right there.
Yeah, and see, the thing about this is, you know, you can do your due diligence. In my case, I knew that I had permission to use these tracks from the composer.
Yeah.
And so I'm all ready to do a live show, and all of a sudden, you know, YouTube takes it down. You know, taking down a live show in progress.
Yeah.
When I know that I have permission from the composer to use those tracks, man, that's a scary thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they should at least give you the chance, which I thought they gave me the chance. I mean, last week I talked about it. I deleted the email, so I couldn't remember which one it was, but I got an email from YouTube saying that my dispute, that the copyright holder went through the video that I disputed, and they released their claim.
Yes, because the copyright holder probably wasn't the real copyright holder.
So it was fine to use it. But if I don't know, I don't remember which one it was, so I can keep on using it because it's weird. So the best thing is to just find a piece of music that that does not get you flagged when it stays there.
The other thing I could possibly do would be to clip portions of the show that don't have audio, do like a 1 minute like highlight thing, and then link to the Daily Motion video.
Don't assume that you're going to get whacked.
No, you should assume that because they whack everything.
No.
I mean, I've uploaded. I got a
Okay.
copyright claim on music from a video game. It was inside of the video game, which gave you permission to upload to YouTube. And I got claimed, and the music was...
Did you dispute it?
No, I just took down the video.
Well, you see, if you have the permission to do that, then go ahead and dispute it. There's nothing wrong. The only thing I think is going to happen is that if you use it again, you're going to have to dispute it again and again. It seems like
so I just took it down because I don't want to deal with it.
Well,
I'm not going to sit here and fight with a computer about if the music is able to be uploaded. I just don't care. Whatever. If they don't want the music on there, I just won't upload to YouTube. I mean, I have no reason to upload, but if I do, if I have to deal with
See,
now, hours of searching through music libraries to figure out which song I'm using. Screw that.
What Andrew was saying yesterday is that what they want to do is they want to put just parts of the shows on YouTube.
Yeah, see, what I would
and
do
have
with it,
people
what I would
go, yeah.
Yeah, I would just do like on this week's episode of On the Radar, and then have like a minute or minute and a half of what we talked about, and then just have a link.
Yeah.
That's probably the best thing to do, actually.
And this way, he's going to make more money too, because people are going to go to Daily Motion where it pays more, I guess.
Yeah, they have a huge CPM over there.
So it's just like a teaser that you put on YouTube.
You know, yeah, that's probably what else doing.
It's going to take time to edit.
Well, yeah, but it won't take time because it's only a minute video, but it would probably be much easier than dealing with copyright claims on YouTube.
Yeah, and for that thing, it'd just be, well, rather than creating a special, I mean, you could do that on a Hangout Live, just a Hangout on air, just create it.
Yeah, I mean, I have the ability to use YouTube Live, on my Radar Gaming YouTube channel, but I just don't want to deal with it. Like you said, Bruce, they just pull your show in the middle. Like, there's plenty of other places to upload my show. I could upload to Blip Daily Motion. I could host it on my own website. I mean. I could Vimeo, Mevio. There's plenty of places. YouTube is not the only game in town right now. Daily Motion is definitely
not at all. I mean, the only reason I'm putting it there is because the response time to download it is better than Bamboozer.
Now, are you noticing more drive-by traffic from YouTube?
Not really.
Not really. See, that's my biggest thing is I just want to upload it there for the views. I mean, they can watch on Daily Motion.
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't think you're going to get anything from YouTube at this point because it's, what is it, from you don't see the forest for the trees, or how does it go? There's so much stuff there, so much content. Chances that somebody will find you there is, next to impossible.
I think the only benefit that YouTube brings right now is that they'll show up higher in the search result than anybody else.
Because
they're Google.
Oh, yeah, true.
Like if I search XSplit screen flickering, my video is the top search result. If I uploaded that to Daily Motion, it wouldn't be the top search result.
Steve, I'm going to ask again. Why aren't you connecting to Skype so we can talk? Is there? I mean, if there's a reason, then okay. But would really love to talk to you and want to find out if you okay.
I did a video. I did a YouTube video called Vid Blaster and what was it? VAC, the program where you can
VLC.
Yeah. Where you can mix your audio without having to use a mixer. That's where I got my infraction back in the day. But wow. It's got over 1,700 views, and I get comments every once in a while. People coming back saying, "How are you able to use that with Vid Blaster?" So.
Well, the thing is that they are, like you said, when they lowered the bar, it created so much more traffic on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So many more videos that it's just ridiculous. You're really going to have to work hard with all the tags and naming it and all that in order to be found. It's not worth it. I mean,
right.
If that's the way if that's a way to make money, that's one thing.
Yeah, but and that's really not where I'm at on YouTube. I don't use it for that. It's a tool for other things. But yeah, I agree.
Right. 919 518 9773. Computers 2K voice on Skype. You were saying?
Yeah, I got a takedown on SoundCloud. I recorded an episode and had I was using back at that time. It was about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I was using Pandora as my background player, playing some instrumental type music, and it picked up. So they've got some kind of a thing too as well, and it picked up and would not make it available. So took it down. But that would have been a legitimate thing because it recognized a particular instrumental song that was playing in the background, and which is why I went to using a central intro and outro and background music track now. I haven't gotten any feedback on whether people like it or don't like it, but it's kind of what I'm doing right now. What I like about SoundCloud is the opportunity. They have this great player that when you share to Google Plus or Facebook or Twitter, not so much Twitter, but it puts in a player that will play right from directly within the stream, within your Facebook news feed or within your Google Plus stream. It doesn't take you to another place to play it, and I like that. It's a really nice player, and the player that's embedded has a share button, so you can immediately share it from there as well.
It's just that it's getting a lot of work after the fact to deal with all the YouTube and Daily Motion and getting the RSS feed for the Roku. I mean, it's beginning to take a lot of time to do that, but I guess it's part of, it comes with the territory.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see what else is happening here. I guess Spence left. Yeah.
Yeah, he's going out for his morning tan on South Beach.
Yeah, I was just wondering if he's going to do specials.
Yeah.
But I guess not. All right. Now, listen to this. Microsoft indicated this week that it has fixed a Windows XP resource hog problem associated with the system SVC host.exe processes. Windows XP users affected by this problem typically found that the operating system was using up system resources for 15 minutes to an hour after startup, making it difficult to use the machine during that period. The Microsoft Update team had vowed last month to spend the holiday break tackling the issue, which has plagued some users for years. The fix involved stopping the system from perpetually checking Internet Explorer updates. Microsoft indicated that the fix was rolled out on Tuesday. They didn't say anything about it. They didn't do it. They just fixed it, so to speak. So from we're not going to support XP anymore last year. Now it's supported until what? July of next year? And fixes like that. And they said that they confirmed on Friday that it will continue to offer its malware scrubbing program to Windows XP users for more than a year after it stops patching the operating system. Microsoft's malicious software removal tool is aligned with the company's anti-malware engines and signatures, and as such, the removal tool will continue to be provided for Windows XP through July 14, 2015. So they said. So that's very interesting that they will keep on supporting it. Now there was an interesting article. Oh, yeah. And that makes so much sense. It says with Windows 9 rumored to be coming out early next year, there is little reason for businesses just transitioning off Windows XP to ever deploy Windows 8. With a user learning curve, hardware updates, and apps compatibility all posing potential hurdles to Windows 8 adoption, most businesses transitioning from Windows XP will likely wind up using Windows 7 as their new platform of choice. So says Sean Alloway, CEO of Converter Technology, specialized in migrating businesses to new versions of Windows and Microsoft Office. In fact, none of Converter's client has chosen Windows 8 as an XP upgrade, he says. So, yeah, now that you're talking about, okay, here comes Windows 9, and it's only a rumor. I mean, we don't know that it's for real, right? It's right. A rumor, but it's enough to stop businesses from saying, okay, yeah, let's go to Windows 8. Any discussion?
I don't really have anything to add. I know we talked a little bit about this, last week about the XP thing, and I think mainly, you realize that 81%, I think they said, of the ATM machines are operating on XP.
Right.
It's probably to Microsoft's benefit to continue some malware, support and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, as far as Windows 9, it's almost kind of like, there's some people like me who skipped over Vista. I went from XP directly to 7. And so there may be some enterprise business that might go skip over 8 and move from 7 to 9, depending on what 9 looks like it's going to be. So,
yeah, I'm sure they're going to go back to the way that it was. I mean, it's killing them.
Mm-hmm.
We're always wondering about hard drives, right? And we talked about that earlier, but now there are some names involved too. Backblaze, the cloud backup company who open sourced their storage pod a few years ago, is now providing information on drive failure rates. They currently have over 27,000 consumer-grade drives spinning in Backblaze storage pods. There are over 12,000 drives, each from Seagate and Hitachi, and close to 3,000 from Western Digital, plus a too small for statistical reporting smattering of Toshiba and Samsung drive. One cool thing, Backblaze buys drives the way you and I do. They get the cheapest consumer-grade drives that will work. Their workload is almost 100% write, just writing. Because they spread the incoming writes over several drives, their workload isn't overly performance intensive either. Their results, and that's interesting to me, Hitachi has the lowest overall failure rate, 3.1% over 3 years, which is nice. Western Digital has a slightly higher rate, 5.2%, but the drives that fail tend to do so very early. So if you have a Western Digital and it didn't fail within the first year or 6 months, whatever, I don't know, then chances are it'll be okay. Seagate drives fail much more often. 26.5% are dead by the 3-year mark. So it's Hitachi, Western Digital, and then Seagate. I never liked Hitachi because I've seen too many of them come out of computers and laptops that were dead. I mean, not spinning. But they were always the Hitachi Desk Star or something like that. And maybe it's just that model that was an OEM or whatever that was bad. And for those of us that use a lot of... Oh, there's Mike.
Maybe.
Maybe? Is that Mike? Maybe? No, this is Mike.
We'll try and see.
It's not. No, it is. It's you.
How do you know?
I can see you. What do you mean, how do I know?
How do you know
It's
this
you.
is not a fig Newton of your imagination?
Nah, it's you. It's you.
A fig Newton of your
Fig Newton?
imagination.
Yeah. Too many Fig Newtons, Amnon?
Do I have any Fig Newtons?
Yeah.
No, I like him, but I don't have any, no.
Well, there's your first problem.
Early indicators are that it's not going to be solved, but we'll see.
What did you...
Is this a lovely Time Warner Cable issue?
I'm not sure about that. I've been communicating with them on Twitter.
Yeah.
They've been responsive. They've asked me to do some testing. I've done some testing. And the reason it took so long is because I actually forced a reset of my IP address.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you can do that and the routing will change and avoid a bad router if that's what the problem is somewhere locally.
Locally as in Time Warner locally, or locally as in...
As in Cary/Raleigh.
Okay.
Well, it can avoid. It can actually reroute everywhere it's going, but it can also force if whatever the router is, I'm physically connected to the first router that I'm connected to when it leaves my house. It doesn't change that. That's going to be there. If the problem is in that first router, there's nothing I can do. But once it hits a server after that router, then things can go all over the place.
Well,
but I have a new IP address, and the ping is 5 milliseconds, 5.63 up, 34.13 down.
Maybe I should stop DDoSing you. That's probably the problem.
And Sean's still asleep. They haven't gone to bed yet. We'll just see.
Right,
we'll see how it goes.
But here is some grim news, kind of.
Oh, no.
The East Buchanan Telephone Cooperative started charging cellular prices for home DSL internet service starting on January 1st, 2014. A 5 gigabyte plan costs $24.95 a month, while a 25 gigabyte plan will run $99.95 per month. 100 gigabyte is the most data you can get in a package, and it's $299.95 per month. Each additional gigabyte is $5. They argue that the price increase is justified because their costs have increased by 900% since 2009. About half of their customers use less than 5 gigabyte a month, while their largest users use around 100 gigabyte a month. They argue that the switch to measured internet will appropriately place the cost on their heaviest users. With the landmark net neutrality ruling this week, will larger providers try to move to similar price models? That's going to be bad. That is going to be bad for somebody like me. But if that's what's going to happen, that's what's going to happen. I don't hear any comments.
I was just thinking today is Freedom Day for me. It's when my new month starts with data on my plan. So, I got it set up to give me little warnings here and there, and I don't want to ever get to that situation that I got to month before last where I got over the 5 gigs and they throttled me down. So
I have never hit my cap.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even when I'm traveling, I've never hit it.
Yeah, traveling, the only time I hit my cap is when I do an excessive amount of mobile Google Hangouts.
Yeah.
It's very, very data intense operation there.
And yet in Europe, they just go. They don't have caps, do they? And what we're saying that that you know the other side of this thing here is mobile internet is about to get even faster in Korea. The country's largest operator, SK Telecom, introduced the world's first LTE advanced service in June. Its two rivals had followed suit by September, and now it has announced that it will roll out a lightning-fast 300 megabits per second service in late 2014. We're talking about cell service, 300 megabits. I mean, come on. What do you need that kind of speed from a cell phone?
You need to be able to reach that cap in a hurry.
Fast. There was an article that I read that said that somebody, about the Google terabyte, whatever, in Iowa. No, not Iowa, Utah. And the guy said they had 100 megabits. And it was fine for everybody, for the whole family. It worked great. But he said once we got the 1 terabyte, I think it's 1 terabyte, yeah. Now we know what speed means. Now, give me a break. You remember the early days with different processors, with the 888 and the 886 and 286, and we used to go by, the screen updates, between this and between this. I mean, can you tell a difference? I don't know how you tell difference on a page load between 100 megabits and a terabyte. And how long before you hit your... Can you imagine 1 terabyte? How long is it before you hit your cap? Sheesh. But they really know what we need, so that's why they're doing this. It's their way of telling us what we need. Just like Amazon obtained a patent for anticipatory shipping. Claims it knows its customers so well it can start shipping even before orders are placed. The technique could cut delivery time and discourage consumers from visiting physical stores. In the patent document, Amazon says delays between ordering and receiving purchases may dissuade customers from buying items from online merchants. Of course, Amazon algorithm might sometimes err, promptly costing returns. To minimize those costs, Amazon said it might consider giving customers discount or convert the unwanted delivery into a gift. Delivering the package to the given customers as a promotional gift may be used to build goodwill, the patent said. Considering the problems that can arise when shipping something a customer did not order, anticipatory shipping has the potential to backfire faster than an Amazon drone can deliver. We know what you want. We know how you're going to do it. I mean, with me, they'll never learn, because the way that I do it with Amazon or with anybody else, I go because I want to see the shipping. I mean, that's before Prime. And I add it to the cart, and I let it sit there and do all the processing and figuring the shipping while I go somewhere else to look for the same thing and see what it's cost there. So if they learned what I do, they'll just leave it in the cart. And listen to this one. Windows
I'm not
8.
even sure I'm going to renew Prime.
Windows
when it comes
8.
up.
What?
I'm not even sure I'm going to renew Prime when it comes up. Now they're charging sales tax, it loses a major price advantage, and some of their other pricing has gone up too.
I'm still finding certain things are actually cheaper on eBay with free shipping than Amazon.
They don't have the same response time, but you don't need everything the
Right.
next day or in 2 days.
Correct.
We just want it that fast. We've been spoiled.
HP has stuck their finger in Microsoft's eye by launching a new promotion that discounts several consumer PCs by $150 when equipped with Windows 7, saying the 4-year-old OS is back by popular demand. The reality is that there are a lot of people who still want Windows 7, says Bob O'Donnell. This is a twist, though, and may appeal to those who said, I do want a new PC, but I thought I could get Windows 7. The promotion reminded O'Donnell and others of the dark days of Windows Vista when customers avoided Windows 7's predecessor and instead clamored for the older Windows XP on their new PCs. Then, customers who had heard mostly negative comments about Vista from friends, family, and the media decided they would rather work with the devil they knew rather than the new one they did not. It's not a perfect comparison, said O'Donnell, of equating Windows 8 with Vista, but the perception of Windows 8 is negative. He said, I said earlier on that Windows 8 could clearly be Vista version 2, and that seems to have happened. HP has decided that the popularity of Windows 7 is its best chance to encourage more people to buy new computers in a declining market, and is not the first time that HP has spoken out against Microsoft. Look at the business model difference between Intel and ARM. Look at the operating systems. In today's world, other than Microsoft, there is no one else who charges for an operating system, says HP executive Sridhar Solar in December, adding that the next generation of computers could very well not be dominated by Microsoft. That means it's not going to be Windows on their next machines. I wonder what it's going to be. Maybe Linux will finally find its way in mainstream. Now, you want to make money with YouTube? Who wants to make money with YouTube?
Nick does.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
Microsoft partnered with Machinima.
Machinima, yeah.
Machinima.
Excuse me?
Did I send you this one, Nick?
No.
No, but I heard about it. It's a
Has
big deal.
put forth a promotion for YouTube personalities. Make a video about the Xbox One, and get money for it. Problematically, they also require the reviewer not to disclose that they are getting paid or mention anything negative, which breaks FTC disclosure rules. Microsoft has a well-known history of astroturfing, but is this the first proof of them doing it illegally? So I guess it's against the law to tell somebody you can please do a review, but don't mention anything negative if you want to get paid? Is that what this article means? Mike is not listening to me.
I'm listening, but I got distracted, sort of.
Oh.
Yeah, and our guest is in the chat and says he's standing by for you. So.
Oh, you can call in anytime. I mean.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, there's Matt. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Matt, you can just connect to Computers 2K voice and join us there.
I have a question about Windows.
Yeah.
What is the Windows theme where the toolbars and the taskbar are like a grayish color, like how it looked in like XP?
I don't have any idea.
Hi, Matt.
Yeah, hey.
Hey. What did you mean? What did you say? What is the theme, Nick?
Yeah, there's a way to enable it so that
I'm not following.
It's just a different theme. I don't know which one it is.
That looks like what?
I posted a link in chat. The toolbar looks like that at the bottom. It's like all grayscale.
Oh, you go to it's not a theme. You go
That's what they call it, though.
Well, you go to Control Panel, System, Advanced System Settings.
Up at the top, it says Windows 7 Classic Theme, WIP 9 by.
Yeah, I just found it.
I thought you wanted the gray with the long start button like it used to be in.
Nah, I got it. It's called Windows Classic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Much better. I like that.
It's also faster, probably.
No, except I got rid of my wallpaper.
That's one of the things that a lot of people are not doing is going and doing away with Arrow. What do they call it? Arrow
mode or something like that.
Yeah, and I mean, if you go to Start, Control Panel, System, Advanced System Settings, you can set up the way that I always do it. I just go in there and I check to configure it for best performance, and then just go. That will give you that old looking start bar.
Mm-hmm.
And then just go to the very bottom one that says use something, the view or whatever. The very last one in the list will make it look like the current one, but it'll be a lot faster and uses less resources too. So, Matt, Ivey's with us.
Yes, sir.
And you're on a phone.
I'm on a Skype.
Why does it sound...
Sounds fine.
It does?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm using a headset.
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to... Mike, I'm going to change a little bit and put the mid-range a little bit more.
I'm not.
Okay, I'm not.
Leave it alone.
Okay, it's back. All right, fine. Be like that. Matt, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, okay. I'm probably classified as a seasoned veteran in the video and technology area. I had worked for Tektronix in 80s and 90s as had a lot of different jobs there, manufacturing. But I actually worked in the TV division and grew up in electronics and cut all my teeth on helping to design and manufacture television test equipment. If you're familiar with Tektronix, it's a test and measurement company and really big in television broadcast. And so I've pretty much grown up in the television and professional video arena all my adult life. And so I did that. And then there's a company that Tektronix had owned called Grass Valley. You may be familiar with them. They make very high-end television broadcast production equipment like switchers, and then nowadays they even have cameras in that. And so Tektronix had owned Grass Valley, and there was a time period where the companies were kind of autonomous. But in the late 90s and that, they started to do more work together, and Grass Valley wound up being sold. And at about that same time, Tektronix had been developing, since the early 90s, disc recorders, and I had gotten involved in that. So I've been around disc recorders and video servers for a long time. And that's what brought me to ATAMOS a couple years ago. I had been able to join up, and it's just been a lot of fun over the last couple of years. ATAMOS I would say, is a very innovative video technology company that is really on the cutting edge of delivering products for all essentially, disc recorders, but there's some other video core technologies that they have. And it was started by a couple of Australian fellows, Ian Overlease and Jeremy Young. One is the more of the business and the marketing side, and then the other person is just a really awesome and phenomenal designer.
What again? What is the background of ATAMOS? Why did they start it even?
Yeah, that's a great story, Amnon. Here's a couple of guys who've been in the industry for a while, and like I said, been involved with some other companies that were, I'd say, industry leaders in making products for it's really from a technology standpoint, pretty low cost considering what these end products cost. And I'll go over that a little bit, but they had a better idea, really, is what happened. So they left the company that they were at. They joined forces, just the two of them. And this is about the 2009, 2010 timeframe. They had an idea that following technology, you've probably noticed over the last several years how much more video, high-end video, is being recorded using DSLR cameras. So they had a pretty simple premise, but a lot of work, hard work to get it started, was to make an external digital recorder that would record from the HDMI output of DSLR cameras, which everyone was starting to use. So you got this really high quality sensor in these cameras, but the internal recordings were not that good. So what they did is, in an external product, put together a package, very compact, very low power, runs off batteries, and records to 2.5-inch laptop drives from a commodity standpoint. And what it records is high quality, what people are using in Hollywood, codec, an Apple Res, which is a 10-bit 422 recorder for those folks out there that are used to different types of codecs. A lot of what you use streaming and that is pretty low bit rate. These are very high bit rate, high quality recorders. That was the premise that the company was started around. The timing was perfect. The industry was ready for that. And these products were only around $1,000 compared to what they were from a lot of other companies. And the product has a monitor built into it, so you can monitor the HDMI that's coming out of these DSLR cameras, as well as the audio. There's embedded audio in that. And the interesting thing is, a couple of years later, this company, which has really only been shipping product for a couple of years, is already on its fourth generation product.
I was showing. I guess you're watching us, right?
I can be, yeah.
So I mean, it doesn't work right because it's backing up. It's picture in picture in picture in picture. The infinite thing. But this is the Ninja 2. And as everybody can see, there's an HDMI up there connected right here. There's an audio connected. And the batteries go on the back, and you can put two batteries on it. The one that you see there right now, this one is not really a battery. It's the connector from the power supply. So it's running off of a brick right now. It is so small. It is so versatile. I was floored by it when I saw it first over at Stephen Haywood's on his video when he was showing it to me, and I said, "Wow, I would really like to play with this and see." But this is just one of the products that ATAMOS is making. What is the ATAMOS claim to fame?
Well, really what I'd say is that product, thanks for showing that there. People get a good idea of the size of it. The real breakthrough was at this time when the product was designed is the ability to have an external recorder like that in a really compact package. It can run off of 2 batteries, so it satisfies people who are doing, we have every kind of customer. Thousands of these have been sold, Amnon. And the interesting part is you don't always know where they go. It could be a person, a conversation like yourself that is using it to record the output of your system. It could be a live event type of production company that's doing concert tours, wedding folks. People are shooting music videos with them. And even the thing that's happened over the last couple of years, and the reason I came on board ATAMOS, was to leverage the technology and start to go into more broadcast and professional video type of operations like colleges, universities. These products are fairly ubiquitous. And the analogy to the way that they get used, everyone remembers how you used to use videotape. Well, the products are small enough and light enough, you can mount them anywhere. And since we record directly to a commodity disk drive or SSD, a 2.5-inch drive, ATAMOS provides a little caddy. We're not even selling the disk drives ourselves. We allow the customer to do that, which other manufacturers are not doing. So it's really this great mixture of something that's a little bit of a do-it-yourself, and I think that a lot of people nowadays are trying to cut budgets in that. So the real claim to fame is just how popular this product has become for a variety of different uses. We're in everything from mobile production trucks. We have a line of products. There's the Ninja product, which was the original product that had been introduced a couple of years ago, and then subsequently shipping. That has now turned into its second generation, a Ninja 2, which is what you had showed. They all have a basic premise of having a monitor built in. So in a way, it's a whole tool that is you can hold in your hand. And like you said, you can run it off of 2 batteries. It has an automatic battery changeover so that when it uses up one battery, then it changes over to the other one. Because of its really low power, these products last from 4 to 6 hours from record time. You'd be surprised how many customers that ATAMOS has that are in the nature documentary. You can imagine being out on a jungle safari, being able to run off of batteries and recording just really beautiful images, and we highlight a lot of that on the ATAMOS website, which is ATAMOS, ATOMOS.com.
And I'll bet that the camera that they'll be using will probably not last 6 hours at that point.
Well, that's a good point. I mean, thanks to lithium ion, we're all enjoying having long life time on all of our portable devices. And I think that's part of this claim to fame is ATAMOS was able to ride and be up step with the way the market had turned. DSLRs, I mean, there is millions of them sold to people. And look at all the people who are doing really high quality types of productions, whether it's, like I said, music videos. We have people who, and that's a very popular thing. People who have their own band are able to create those. And look at all the avenues now you have to distribute your work. So the other thing that's gone on with these products, just from a technology background. So your show started in 1993, I noticed from doing some research on your website. About that same time is when disc recorders were starting to be invented, so to speak, and that's what I had worked on at Tektronix in the early 90s. So here were products. The whole idea was, how can television broadcasters replace tape machines? The tape machines, mechanical failures, all these that went with it. They wanted to have a product that could play back the high quality video and save for commercial breaks. The first disc recorders would only have about 2 hours of time. But that was good because what they used them for was stacking up all of these 30-second and 1-minute spots, commercials to play back. They were computer controlled. So that meant from a playlist standpoint, you could say, hey, at 12 noon, play this commercial, then play this one, then play this one. And the whole idea was to more automate that type of operation. The first disc recorders, and Tektronix was one of the first ones that had come out, they had to evolve technology. This was a time when we had 1 and 2 gigabyte drives. You guys probably remember all that. You've lived through all of that like all of us have. And the codec was motion JPEG. It was standard definition. And these units sold for $100,000 to television stations.
Wow.
So this is just 20 years ago. And so the way that I like to explain this ATAMOS product is it's a product that does high definition. It works with two different codecs, which one is the ProRes and the other one is Avid DNX. These are high bit rate products. These are 220 megabits a second recording at 10 bit. It's 10 times better than that product that was done in the 90s, because that product subsequently had shipped in 1995. So you're actually getting a product that's 10 times better than the $100,000 product, and it's only 1% of the what the sell price was. You're getting $1 million product for $1,000. Does that make sense?
Oh, that makes a lot of sense, and I think it also has it sounds the same when we're talking about switchers. Back then, it was who knows how many hundreds of thousands. Now you can buy a software switcher that's below 1,000.
Exactly. And so look what that feeds in our industry, in the sense that more people can do more things. You just think of all of the places that people want to use this. And so that's the flip side. ATAMOS actually has an HDMI recorder, which is the Ninja series. And from the professional television and broadcast standpoint, there is another standard. It was on a BNC. You know, what's the oldest connector that's been around? It's called HDSDI, and the SDI part is for serial digital interface. And that is the mainstay of the broadcast industry. And what's interesting that I find is that this HDSDI signal, which has been around clearly for at least 15 years. I mean, I used to go to CES in the 90s when everybody was anticipating HDTV, and as we know, we all finally got that as the prices got down and sports was being broadcast that way. But I waited for 10 years to get to HDTV, even though I would see it at every trade show that I went to. And this HD SDI signal, as I said, these are the last, in my opinion, these are the last two signals that are the mainstay in the television. HDMI on one side, and we've seen the evolution of that coming from DVI and VGA and all that. And what's great about these connections, not only do they have the high quality, high bit rate, and high pixel count. These are 10-bit signals. HDMI also includes the audio. So it's not like we used to when we would set up our home theater systems. You had all these cables. We were running RGB and analog audio, or we're running the digital audio over that little fiber channel. On the broadcast side, which we also make products for, is this BNC connector, and it is a same constraints. I mean, it's a serial digital signal. It's 1.485 gigabits per second is running down that BNC cable. That is the mainstay of the television industry. So
5 point
no, it's
gigabit.
Just round it off. It's 1.5 gigabits per second.
Gigabits. Okay.
Right. And remember, these recorders that ATAMOS make, the highest quality level of the ProRes recording is 220 megabits a second. So contrast that with the home consumer video camera, where people are recording to a H.264, an MPEG format, and they're anywhere from 10 to 20 megabits a second. This higher bit rate is needed is in the sense that if you think about the way that people shoot commercials and music videos and that, they want to acquire the signal and record it at a very high bit rate, so that the acquisition of what you might call the original, the raw material, is at the highest quality that they can. Mm-hmm. The cameras are already awesome, these DSLR cameras, and then professional HD SDI cameras, which is really just the signal format. Those are down in. You can see what the cost is. So just as you were pointing out, the cost of these products is down pretty low. And so one of the things that ATAMOS has been able to do is start off with that initial product, the Ninja, which is an HDMI recorder. Leverage that internal technology. The claim to fame back to that part is that again, very low power, low entry point from a cost standpoint for customers to get this very high quality signal, and they get to record to a commodity disk drive. And I was listening to your specs report. It's interesting that the Hitachi drive came out the way it did. You know that Hitachi had bought Western Digital, I think probably a year ago or two, and now that company is called HGST. That happens to be on the ATAMOS website. We list which drives that we think are the most suitable and the most compatible, and that our customers have had all the best results with. And that drive is at the top of the list.
HGST, which is Hitachi?
Yes. Yeah, well, Hitachi, like I said, had bought Western Digital, and then once they merged them, they've really kept the Western Digital brand name around, because I think that works for the North American market.
Yeah, Western Digital's been going down the drain for me in the last year.
Well, and you know what? That might be a result of, this is what happens when companies consolidate and they have to figure out what to do with all of their assets, as well as their marketing and their product, their development. So, but it's really exciting to see what customers do. I'm here just outside the Portland area in Oregon. We've got local news people that have taken their older HDTV cameras that they were using that use tape. They're using the ATAMOS recorder in order to, they still make great images, but they're using the ATAMOS recorder to now record to this Apple ProRes codec, which, by the way, is an important part of industry, is having some market accepted, standardized ways of distributing our files. Because this codec that is the Apple ProRes one, you can edit that with Final Cut Pro, you can edit that with Avid DNX, all these nonlinear editors. And the nice thing is it is so analogous to tape. You take the disk out of the recorder or the SSD, because we can use either one in the ATAMOS products, and you put that into a little caddy and you plug that into your computer, and you're editing right away. There's no transcoding that has to go on. This is a boom for people who want to shoot things quickly, edit it quickly. There's two steps. You shoot and record the video, and you edit it. And this is the same way that people used to work with tape. And I think that's part of why it is so successful in terms of actual usage.
We're still doing standard definition, our show. So I found out that recording it in ProRes Lite,
yes,
is actually, there's no reason to go more. What kind of bit rate is that?
That is, okay, thanks for pointing that out. There are different bit rate levels of the ProRes codec. It's kind of a good, better, best, Amon.
Right. The
highest bit rate, which is called HQ, is 220 megabits a second. There's a middle one that's for some reason called 422. That's about 150 megabits a second. And then that LT is about 100 megabits a second. And it's a great compromise, especially if you're doing standard definition recording. And yes, you guys are witnesses to that still being around and using it. And that allows you to still have a very high quality recording, but now your capacity, the amount of time that you can record, is much longer. So just as an example, if you were to take a 500 gig drive, and those are going for about $50 or so nowadays, at the highest bit rate on the ATAMOS recorders, this HQ mode, you get about 5 hours of record time. Mm-hmm. And on the lower bit rate, the LT that you use, you'd get almost 10 hours on that. It's about twice. And that's still the interesting part, is that these do wind up being pretty big files. But the great thing is we all have such good computer power nowadays that we can deal with that. All the computers are faster. They've got better graphics. It's funny to grow up in this industry and watch this whole thing evolve. When I first started using a nonlinear editing system in the 90s, it was oddly enough, it was Adobe Premiere 1.0. And we were all just so, after editing on tape, because I used to do tapes for Tektronix. I was one of my jobs that I had done.
Mm-hmm.
I got to use one of these nonlinear editors, and we were just so fascinated that we could have a dissolve, between two signals. It's called an A/B roll when you're using tape, but in the computer, you could do dissolve between one video and another one, and it only took 30 minutes, Amnon, to render a 1 second dissolve. And so
Wow.
there's been this whole time that we've grown up with where the hardware has always been trying to catch up with what the software was.
Mm-hmm.
And we're there, and that's probably the fun part, and why this whole industry has just gone nuts. And that was a good point that you were making about all these other products in the industry that has gotten lower cost. And from an ATAMOS standpoint, leveraging its core technology philosophy of making very reasonably cost, high performance products, we actually have other products that do the conversion. You can imagine everybody's using flat screen nowadays for monitors. It's a great low cost way. HDSDI monitors for the television broadcast, they used to be like $5,000. So what someone figured out is, hey, let's take the HDSDI signal and turn that into HDMI so we can use these lower cost monitors. And that has actually created a whole environment of what's called converters, and the converters either convert from HDMI to HDSDI signal, or the other way, HDSDI to HDMI. And that's why I say there's the mainstay in our profession now, or in our industry, are these two types of signals, and the workhorse formats are either 720p 60, which is what ABC and the other sporting-based networks use because they like the progressive part, or it's 1080i, which is 1920 by 1080 in terms of resolution from an HD signal. And your standard definition that you're using is 720 pixels wide by 480 pixels tall.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's just this natural progression that we've expected. In some ways, if you're close to the industry, you say, why can't it happen fast enough, right? I mean, why aren't we riding hover cars for crying out loud?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to get a little bit to the technical side of it. And the first thing and I'm still worried about this, the thing gets so hot. And Heather was explaining to me that the frame, the outer band is actually a heat sink.
Yeah, well, you're talking about the actual design of the product, and like I said, it is a state of the art product. Products are designed they can run that warm. In fact, the specs on the product are can be in a 40 degrees C environment, which is about 112 degrees Fahrenheit,
Mm-hmm.
and still operate internally. You can imagine that there is the unique thing about these products is that it's all a ground up design from ATAMOS development team, which by the way is in Melbourne, Australia, which is where the headquarters is.
Mm-hmm.
And just from a design standpoint, that's the smaller of the products. The Ninja is the smallest one. It's got a 4-inch LCD screen that's there on the front, and then internally it has its own operating system. And so depending on what kind of drive that you use, because the drive is generating some of the heat as well.
Right.
But the whole outside part is an extruded aluminum, and so it's a pretty clever design of it's fairly minimal parts inside. The chief designer, Pete Overlease, actually came from the cell phone type design industry and learned a lot, and is a consummate designer of making low power products. So even though it's low power, you got to dissipate the heat, and so we don't. There are some where, depending on where you're using, I don't know, maybe you got a light bulb on top of it or something too in the area, but it's not going to hurt the way that it works.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're saying that it's, I was actually planning on sticking 2 big heat sinks to the top of it to dissipate the heat, so there's no reason to do that.
No, there shouldn't be, and you've never had any problems, right? I mean, you record files and you play it back, and and you are using now one of the lower life forms of codecs, standard definition.
Right.
as we move forward and start to create other products. And like I said, ATAMOS has recorders. We actually have 3 different types of ATAMOS recorders right now: that Ninja series, the Samurai series, and the Samurai Blade series. For those of you that are listening and get to go out to the atomos.com website, you'll see that that is an HDSDI recorder that has standard size BNCs on it. And that screen that's in there is likened to a screen that would come out of a smartphone. That's a 1280 by 720 screen that's built into a 5-inch LCD. And this is what I was saying, but that's about ATAMOS's 4th generation in just 2 years of a platform. So the developers at ATAMOS are very busy. And like any company, we're working on what things we're going to be doing next. But again, they all leverage this great technology that ATAMOS has really invented itself, and it is leading the industry in this type of product.
Yeah, Matt, my name is Bruce. I'm really enjoying looking at this. I've got a friend, Craig Ship, that splits his time between Florida and Maryland and does a lot of professional videos and stuff like that. And I've heard him talk about this particular product. I'm not sure that he owns it and uses it right now. But one of the questions I have on that audio input, what do you find that most people are using as far as audio inputs to get the audio in? Are they running cables and mics? Are they using some kind of a built-in boom mic that's on the camera? What are most people using for audio?
All right. Hey, that's a good question, Bruce. And the nice thing is people are using really pretty much anything that they want. The good thing about the product is that it is very expandable. 2 things that are happening. If someone's using a camera that has its own HDMI output, or it has this HDSDI signal that I'm talking about, the great thing is that the microphone that's built into the camera actually audio get digitized and goes through the HDMI connection. And that's true for most of the DSLR cameras that there are in the market space. So we call that the digital audio. It's embedded with the video signal, either HDMI or HDSDI. If you're using other types of microphones, let's say you're shooting some kind of video and the talent has a lapel microphone on or something, the input, there's an analog input connection on the ATAMOS recorders. And on the Samurai version as well as the Ninja version, it's a 3.5 millimeter mini jack. It's a line level. So it's not actually a mic level input. So what people use then, if you're using microphones that are professional microphones, there's these handy little conversion products that will take that mic level and turn it into a line level. And then you plug that into that mini jack connector that's on the side of the ATAMOS recorder.
Cool. So you could plug in a wireless box in there as well if somebody's using a wireless lapel.
Absolutely. And right. But the thing on the ATAMOS side is that it is a line input, which is more of a higher impedance type of connection. But the good thing is that there's lots of different solutions for that part. On the flip side, we've got another product that's called Ronin, which is more like a deck, and the deck side of it, it's in a half rack space, and it has XLR inputs on it. And that's for people who are doing, like what Nam was talking about, where they're doing a live event. They have multiple cameras that are going through a switcher. The switchers nowadays will pass through embedded audio if it's HDSDI. The ATAMOS HDSDI product actually can work with 12 tracks of embedded digital audio that's on the HDSDI signal. But in addition to that, it has these 2 tracks or stereo pair of analog input. That usually comes from an audio mixer that someone uses at the event where they're mixing all the microphones and having one output. So the overall system, people record at the camera nowadays. You can imagine if you were doing a press conference and you had multiple cameras, you could record at each one of those cameras. And you could be recording on a different ATAMOS recorder the program output from the switcher, which would be the switched output. And then people edit either one. You know, products are used on television talk shows in Hollywood, and everyone's really just gone over to being able to take the discs out like they used to take tape out. They take the discs, they go to their nonlinear editing system, and they can re-edit the show if they need to.
Imagine these would really be great. You mentioned going to trade shows, being able to cover a trade show, and having your digital SLR camera, being able to take still shots of products and everything, and yet being able to have the ATAMOS hot shoot on top, and being able to do interviews with with people there in the booths and everything. Is it getting a lot of use in venues like that?
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. Is there are so many uses that we don't even know where they all go. But that's an excellent point about of a reuse in a way. We have many customers who. One of the nice things you can do is on these DSLRs, you can record to the internal SD card, for instance. At the same time, you can take the HDMI output from that camera and go into this external recorder, which is the ATAMOS recorder, and record at the same time. So that now you have a primary and a backup. A lot of people use the ATAMOS recorder as its primary record because they're going to edit with that, and then as a backup, they have whatever they've recorded at usually a much lower bit rate on the internal recorder. So it's an interesting thing about these DSLR cameras. Many of them have a bit rate recording of about 50 megabits a second, and then heavy compression, and probably to an HD the MPEG-4 H.264 type of compression, which, as you know, takes quite a bit of power to do that.
All right, Nick. You don't have any questions about video and stuff like that? You're into video.
No, not really.
Not good for games?
Well, I don't know why you would record a game at that high quality. There's really no need.
Yeah, well, interesting. We have a lot of customers who use. It's not necessarily the game players themselves, but game types of companies who will use a Ninja to record the output of like an Xbox One to put in the commercials. They want to have a high quality recording, so they edit it into some promotional pieces or use at trade shows and that. So there are uses, and even people who are making application videos about a computer application. The nice thing about the ATAMOS HDMI side of the recording is that you can record the output from like an iPhone, or if you got an HDMI output on your laptop, you can record that as long as it doesn't have the HDCP in there on, and it's not copyrighted material, and then you can use that to edit with, and that's actually much easier for people to edit than to try to use some of the other programs that are recording internally, since the file that recording is a .mov wrapped file in this ProRes. So if you think about it from what people want to do with the application and show others, that's where that comes in handy. So even from an iPad, people will take that output and record it if they want to use it in something else. Hundreds of uses.
Yeah. I had a question that I don't know, somehow kind of got in between there. I'm sure we answered it, but what are ATAMOS' core technology competencies?
Well, really, the core competency is around knowing what to do with video from a digitizing standpoint. In fact, that's a good fundamental question in general for making video recorders and dealing with today's video digital streams, whether it's HDMI or I've been talking about this HD-SDI signal. The ability to take those and record them is a big deal. And like I was saying earlier, in the early 90s, what was going on when people were trying to figure out how to record videos to disk drives, there was actually a lot of redesign work that went in disk drives. You probably remember companies like the name of Acropolis and that, where'd they all go? Then what was going on as we were designing the recorder at the time, there was things that would come up. Like you had to be able to recalibrate the heads, for instance, on the fly. Which was something that was always done when the heads were parked in that. But in video, if you think of video is kind of the opposite in the way that PC files work. PC files are usually not too big. They're short, and you have lots of random access. The nice thing, and is as an added challenge in the video side, if you think about it, if you're recording a video, you really want to have a nice, consistent bit rate that is going to the disk itself, because the files are big. They're consistent. In other words, once you start the write head writing down the bits, it's just going to keep doing that. And one of the things in this business from the codec side, and codec means coder, decoder. The encoding side is the recording part, and that's where we're taking whatever bits are coming in and aligning them up so that we can put them on a disk drive. A core competency is being able to ride through things like, oh, the signal went away, and what happens then to the codec, and on the playback side, which is called decoding, as you're playing back a file, the decoding side has to be able to ride through disk information that's coming off, and it doesn't always come off in a consistent manner. You have to be able to ride through that, so you're not starving the decoder, and on the other end, the playback output that the viewer is seeing looks like one seamless continuous bit rate. So a core competency that ATAMOS has is in that area, being able to do that, whether it's an SSD or it is a spinning disk. And by the way, SSDs are still evolving in terms of the way that they work, trying to match the amount of size of spinning disk space that there is for the price, as well as some performance things. So the other core competencies are what I was talking about earlier, which is low power. That Ninja recorder and the Ninja line of recorders, they only draw 6 watts. ATAMOS competitive products that are out there, a lot of them are like 25 watts. And you can imagine, if you're trying to be mobile, what low power means to you. Mm-hmm. Another core competency is the screens, the monitors. These are products that are basically an entire, what we would call a deck, like what a tape machine would be, all rolled into a really small package. It includes the monitor so that you can monitor. There are specific monitoring type functions that help the customer when they're setting up their camera. There are tools in there to help them set it up correctly. The newer product, the Samurai Blade, for instance, has a waveform monitor built into it, which was ubiquitous in the television industry, and a color vector scope, so that now you can set colors correctly. And it's like having tape measures, if you will, for working with video signals. And all these things have evolved over the last couple of years from the primary core competency that ATAMOS had, which was, it has its own operating system built into it. The product turns on in less than 3 seconds. And if you look at a lot of things that happened in the market, this is one of the big things that was a big deal when television broadcasters were shifting over to these disc recorders. Many of them were based on operating systems like Windows NT, the ones that we had first worked with. Well, they had a turn-on time of some of them a couple of minutes. You can imagine if you're a television station and you had to reboot your video server and you're trying to play back Super Bowl commercials that are worth $3 million each. Mm. So the whole market has developed over this time in order to make these products work like an appliance, like the way tape decks work. You remember when you had your VHS machine or Beta, or even it was funny because remember the DVD players that first came out? You'd turn them on and it'd be like 15 seconds before they were ready to use. And so all these things are all rolled into an importance of having a product that's like a tool, like these recorders are. I mean, people's livelihood are based on these kinds of products, oddly enough. And it's always amazes me because for the price range that they're in, people will have $50,000 cameras, but the real part that is the gold for them, the moneymaker, is that they recorded the video. So it's not something to take lightly from a manufacturer's side. And like I said, we have thousands of customers and lots and lots of good reviews. And so I think the products are a testament of core competency in design.
Yeah, and I think Mike, you can attest to what happens when a recording screws up, right?
Oh boy.
Never fun.
No.
No,
So
it always happens at the worst possible time.
what do they? I mean, first of all, so let's go again through the product line. So there is the Ninja and the Samurai. Keep going.
Okay, yeah. So the company is roughly split between making what I would call recorders. In the past, we've called them field recorders because people would mount them to their camera, and it's an external device so that they can record high quality video. There are three different types of recorders that ATAMOS has. There's the Ninja, which is an HDMI recorder. There's the Samurai series, which is HDI, and then more of a professional rack-mounted grade of product is called the Ronin. So all three of those are what I call the ATAMOS recorders line. The other line of products that ATAMOS makes are called Connect. And Connect are the converter products I was talking about. These very unique from a converter standpoint. ATAMOS makes a converter that is a battery operated. It can even attach to the back of the Ninja or the Samurai. And what it does is it converts from an HDMI signal. Let's say that you're using a DSLR type of camera or a GoPro. You guys are probably familiar with that. We have lots of customers that want to take the HDMI output from that GoPro camera and turn it into a broadcast type of signal, which is HDSDI, to go into a switcher so they can use a GoPro as a POV or point of view type of camera. And so these little converters, they run all day off of one of those standard NPF style batteries that's included with it, and it converts the HDMI signal to HDSDI so it can be used for that. On the flip side of that, the other converter, which is called the Connect S2H, that's the HDSDI converter to HDMI. These are really great for broadcasters because they take the HDSDI signal and turn it into HDMI so that it can be viewed on a low-cost monitor. And so it's the funny thing. That's why I was saying earlier, we're down to these two really major connectors if you're in the video industry. One is HDMI. The other is this SDI or HDSDI goes down it. And there really are the mainstay. It's what everyone is interconnecting with each other in that part of the business. And then what's nice about the converters, we put some things in that really make it unique. One of them is these converters have a built-in test signal generator, and that way you can have your own HDMI independent color bar generator. It also has tone on it. It puts out 12 different formats, and you can check out HDMI screens, for instance. So it has a duality of being a converter, but it's also a test signal generator. And then we even put a flashlight in it so that it's a tool that you can use when you're out trying to set up equipment, which is very common.
Okay. Mike, did you have something to say?
No, I'm fascinated. I know that Vance Willis has used your products extensively, and Vance plays with a lot of technology and is quite impressed with the product.
All right, good.
Yeah. You know what? I wish Vance was here. Hot dog. I didn't think about that. Let's go a little bit about the pricing of these.
Okay. The all of the ATAMOS recorders are under $2,000 in terms of a price. The Ronin, which is more of the top of the line product and is a deck, is a list price of $19.95. The Blade product is only $12.95. This is the one that includes the really high resolution monitor in it. It's a 1280 by 720 IPS screen, and it has an HDSDI input on it. And then the Ninja 2, which is the kind of the granddaddy of all of the products, because it's the original product. It has a 4-inch screen. It's only lists out at $695, and that's the reason why a lot of people have helped with the success of the products. They're very reasonably priced for the performance that they offer to the customer. And again, has to have is supply their own laptop disk drive. They all come in a kit. It comes with everything you need. It comes with the battery charger, and there's a caddy in there so that you can plug it into the drive into your laptop. And so the other philosophy we have is to make sure that we give everything to the customer that they need, except for this the media part, the drive, and they're ready to go. So you don't have to buy a lot of extra stuff to be up and operating as soon as possible. So then the converters are they're only $295 each. We actually make two different versions. There's a battery operated version, which is more of the portable type, and it will go on the back of the ATAMOS compact recorders. And then we make a version of that is more of in a little box style, a metal box, and those can be rack mounted. And those are what we've been doing as we've been taking the core technology, leveraging it, and then going to an adjacent market where people have the same kind of needs, but need a little bit different packaging for the professional and the broadcast market. So if you get a chance to go on to ATAMOS.com, you'll see the whole lineup there, so you can see what the products look like as well.
And right now through January 31st.
Yes, sir.
You can get the Ninja 2. You get the $135 back. And
it's a value package. There's thanks for bringing that up. I'm not doing my full marketing job. You're working for me here.
I got to give credit to Heather here.
Yeah, that's right. So and our team is we're hard droppers. That is a promotion that was started in December, and it's going through January 31st, like you mentioned. And the promotion is if you buy a Ninja 2, there's a $50 rebate.
Right.
But there's also an accessory package that gets sent to the customer that registers that, and that includes an extra battery and a sun hood.
Right. And
so the whole package is $135 value type of package. And then there's another promotion that's for the ATAMOS Blade. Now this is the HD SDI product that's got the higher resolution screen. That's the one that sells for $12.95. And if you get that package, you actually get a $100 rebate that's sent in the month of February to the customer. And then that one has a really nice accessory package that the customer is sent a case for it, which is a nice little hard case, a plastic hard case, and includes a battery and a sun hood. So people need to get those orders in by the 31st next week, and then they register online to get the packages sent to them in the rebate. Good stuff.
Yep,
it's a great time to buy those products. Definitely.
It is very nice. I mean, you really have to have the thing in your hand to realize. And in the studio here, the way that it's situated, if I have a third guest, they sit so the monitors are on the side of their head. They can't really look at the monitor. And it's too far, so they don't know when they're online and when they're on air and when they're not on air. They have the camera has its own LCD and they see themselves.
Right.
The Ninja fixed that. I start the recording. I turned it toward them. I said, if you see yourself there, you're on air. If you're not, you can pick your nose. You can do whatever you want.
Well, that's an on-air monitor then.
Yeah.
Well, one thing you can do, one of the nice things about all of these recorder products, not only do they have an input, of course, for recording, but they do have an output. You can even take the output that's coming from your Ninja 2 and plug that straight into a small HDMI monitor, and you will have another monitor that you're monitoring the same signal.
That's right. That's what the output is. There is an input and output for the HDMI.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
And we have videos that are on the ATAMOS.com website that demonstrate the products. So, and they're all over YouTube with lots of great reviews of what people are doing with products as well.
So where is ATAMOS going from here? Where is ATAMOS headed?
Well, we're headed where the industry heads, Amnon, and everybody's been talking about 4K, right?
Oh
So,
boy, I don't. Go ahead.
okay, yeah. Well, you guys are still doing standard definition, so you gotta make the
Yeah,
least move up at some point to what everybody's been using for
right.
a while. And that's why I say that these two formats, the 1080 and the 720p, or what we know in North America as HDTV, is now been around for at least 10 years now, where people have had affordable flat screens. And so, like any industries, the industry has to fuel itself with its newer technology. And so, just in a nutshell, there's a lot of talk in our video industry about 4K. What 4K is really, it's just the next generation of what we call HDTV. And what's interesting is that for the broadcast side of the upcoming 4K, there's actually a standard, or a marketing standard, if you will, that's called Ultra HD, or UHD as it is. The nice thing about that is that it is a good upward step from what we have today. Let's say today in our HD TV, many people will be watching the sports in that with 1080i. That is 1920 by 1080, so it's 1920 pixels wide by 1080 pixels tall, and then the I, of course, stands for interlaced.
Mm-hmm.
The UHD standard that's coming up, which is under the 4K umbrella, is 3840 wide. Okay, that's 2 times 1920,
Mm-hmm.
and it's 2160 resolution high. So the nice thing about UHD is how well broadcasters will be able to migrate to that, because it's basically 4 times the amount of data than what the HD TV signal is that we have today. The other 4K that's out there, which is the digital cinema 4K, is 4096 by 2160. So even though the vertical resolution is the same, it's more of a computer, it's a nice round computer number, right? 4096.
Yeah.
And so that's more on the digital cinema side. I'm thinking what'll happen is what works better into the broadcast mode is this Ultra HD, or UHD as it's called, because one thing that's very interesting, you guys are a great example. You're still using standard definition because it works for you and you can contain it and all of that.
Well, not quite. I was going to say a while ago, without interrupting your train of thought, part of the reason that we use SD is there are 2 reasons. One is because you really need a robust computer to do HD, which we had previously upgraded. But the other problem is we're stuck with only 5 megabit upload from Time Warner. And considering the number of places we make the signal available, we run out of bandwidth.
And no, there's a third reason that I always think about, and that's the user. On the user end, the higher it is, the more bandwidth they need, and a lot of times it buffers and it's slower, and they don't have enough. And here's the United States, and we are not up there with the rest of the countries as far as how much downloads we have.
I have a pretty simple philosophy about products that sell and get used. The customer is always going to figure out what's best for them. And so when I give you a little bit of a hard time about standard definition, it's only in friendly banter. But I completely understand why people make the decisions for what they need to do. If you look from a broadcast standpoint, they got plenty of bandwidth.
Right.
They bought the spectrum. The government gave it to them. And so this next thing that happens helps. It really, having these other standards that come up, even though it takes 20 years or 10 years sometimes. The point I was going to make is that we have a workhorse HD TV standard today, which is either 1080i or 720p. That's it's great. There's actually way more formats available than that. Fortunately, the marketplace settled on 2 of them, and that's what we're using. The nice thing is, in that Ultra HD, or the UHD, the 1920 by 1080 that people are doing today for high definition is going to fit into that UHD, because UHD is certainly a 4 times derivative of that. That means that you could shoot in HD TV today, And that signal that we have today will fit into 1/4 of the space, or it can be do just like what people do with standard definition. They take standard definition and they upgrade it or upconvert it to HD. So what I'll leave you with is where we're headed is to follow the market, but to make the same kinds of very affordable products that meet those customer needs that they're going to make money off of. In the end, you can't make, really wacky and out there crazy products and expect that you can only live off of 10 customers. We literally have thousands of customers, and we've been quite pleased and proud to be able to do that.
Yeah, and you should. I mean, it's the product is amazing. It's really amazing.
And that you don't realize this, but that's a lot coming from Amnon. It takes a lot to impress Amnon.
Good.
And that's not a criticism, or I'm not being funny. I mean, he just likes tools that do what they do. They do it well. They do it at a reasonable price. They don't have a big learning curve to them, and that's what spins his wheels. So to hear Amnon brag about it, you must have hit a home run on this one.
Yeah,
Mike,
good. No, it's always very gratifying.
Mike, couldn't you use this to hook to your hero?
I'm sure I could. There are a lot of things I could do. The problem is I'm an audio guy, not a video guy.
Yeah,
I'm going to be drugs kicking and screaming into video eventually, but I'm not there yet.
All right.
Understood.
Anybody else? Any comments? Nick, Bruce, anybody in the chat? Nothing. We covered everything. Matt, thank you very, very much. I mean, really.
Yeah, good. Well, time went by fast. I'm very thankful to be on, and if there's another opportunity, and Amnon, you've got my number. You can call anytime.
You what?
You have my number. You can call anytime, and anything comes up, just let me know. And I look forward to talking with you guys in the future.
And you probably will now that you're offering it. Let's see if this is somebody who wants to ask you a question. Hold on a sec. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Larry.
This is Larry. I just had a general question, not a question for the guest.
Oh, okay. So hold on a second. Let me just finish there with Matt. Matt, again, I mean, I can't tell you how. I mean, really, thank you for taking the time to do this, especially from the West Coast. This is really nice, and the one who's honored are us. That somebody like you will come on the show to talk about it and know. I mean, normally a president doesn't know all the stuff like you can answer. Normally I would say let's have somebody from marketing and then somebody that will come later on and be able to talk technology. You can do both, and that's great.
I'm very thankful. Those are kind words, and I'll tell you something. In my career, I've learned a lot of things. I've been instructor and all those things. And the best thing we can do all for each other, just like you're doing, is sharing our knowledge and experience with others. And it's always great to be able to speak with like-minded people.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You can, if you want to, I know you probably want to go back to bed, but if you want to, you can keep on hanging out here. And it's not going to take much longer to finish the show, so it's up to you.
Oh, I'll hang here, and then our day's started. The sun's coming up. We finally got some nice weather, so all good.
Yeah, same here. All right. Larry, what's your question?
I was just wondering, how do you go into Outlook Express, and if you want to copy your address book and move it to another computer?
File, export. There's file, import, and export. I think that's where it's at. I mean,
that's one way of doing it. You can also find the WAB file and move it over.
That's probably, I'll have to try that, because I did it going through export, but when you go back to import it, it puts the people's names, but the email address and stuff inside of it is blank. It doesn't copy that over.
And you are importing into what? Into Live Mail or into Outlook?
Outlook Express. He's on XP.
No. I mean, what are you trying to bring it over to?
Well, what I did, I was putting it in on a flash drive and moving it.
No.
Yeah, and I was going to move it to another computer.
But still Outlook Express.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I mean that shouldn't be a problem at all. The WAB should do it.
Oh, okay. I'll just try copying the WAB.
AB.
Or
WAB. It's probably called your username.
Windows Address Book, WAB.
Windows Address Book.
Okay.
And how did you
be sure not to clobber the original one. Make a copy of it.
Right.
How did you move the messages?
I hadn't tried moving the messages.
Okay, so the messages are the easiest thing, really,
Oh, okay.
because all you have to do is just copy the files from the Outlook Express folder.
Uh-huh.
But what you need to do is you need to go on the new machine, create all these folders that are on the old machine.
Okay.
If you don't, it will not see the extra folders. I mean, I'm assuming you created other folders?
Yeah.
So you need to go on the new machine and just create them and make sure that you end up with the same names on both machines, case and everything. And then you can just go to the Outlook Express folder and copy those DB something. DBX?
That sounds right.
DBX files.
And move and copy them over to the other one, and everything will be there right away.
Oh, okay.
You were going to say something else, Mike?
There's another program called OE Backup.
Yeah.
It's a free program out there, if it's still available, that does it all for you.
Oh, okay.
I may actually have the originals, and if you can't find it, then I can send them to you.
Okay, I'm going to try it again.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Sure, Larry.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Any other anything else that we did not cover today that you guys want to cover?
I believe we're under control, Amnon.
All right. Nick?
Great show, and I really enjoyed Matt being a great spokesman for a great product. It's good.
Yeah.
Nothing like hearing it from the horse's mouth, somebody who can really articulate the...
Absolutely.
The horse's what?
details.
Oh, mouth. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He's still with us, guys. Watch it.
That's
I
right.
know that. But when you're the big dog, you have to take the heat.
Yeah, I know. This is why I was saying that, for somebody in his position to just come.
Oh, he just clicked in. Go ahead, Matt.
No, I don't know.
I was just going to say I'm monitoring your transmissions. It's you guys' show. It sounds like you guys have been around a while. You have a lot of fun, and that's what I was getting at in sharing information. Sometimes we get so excited about what we know, and having a forum to talk about it with is always great.
Yeah,
we love it. That's why we've been doing it for so long.
I noticed that.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
of fun.
you guys have. It was funny. When I was writing my notes for this, I was thinking, yeah, these are the guys like me who went from megabytes on drives to gigabytes, and we were all so excited, weren't we? I mean, still buying computers for $1,000 in early 1990s. The first computer I bought in 1980 was an Apple II Plus, and at the time it was $1,000, but I got into computers and that for the games, like a lot of people do, the graphics and that, and Apple was the product to do that.
Uh-oh, Mike, he's a Mac user.
Well, that's all right.
Okay.
But I have them all. Our business, we've got just as many PC users as we do Macs. We have Macs. I use a PC at home. But
it's independent. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Nick is going off the deep end too, so.
Why am I going off the deep end?
Aren't you buying a Mac Mini?
No.
Oh, you changed your mind again?
I never said I was buying one in the first place.
Liar.
Well, the technology and PCs and Macs are like kids. You got them all.
Uh-oh. Your internet is degrading. Matt, you still there?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
What's the word? Weird, unusual uses did you come across for those products, for the recorders?
Well, as word gets around, I mean, we don't have a lot of really strong marketing. We're working on that part. We're still a limited sized company, especially here. You know, the biggest market for us is here in North America, United States primarily.
Mm-hmm.
And the things that I've always been interested in and products that I've worked with is the industrial uses of these kinds of products. And one of the interesting things, as people start to find out that the Ninja, for instance, is a HDMI recorder, if you start to think of the things that make HDMI and you'd like to record it, it's all fair. So, for instance, we have doctors, for instance, who are recording the output of endoscopy. We've got other scientists in that use they take the HDMI output from their electronic microscopes and record those. And so, not so much that they're weird uses. I mean, they're all appropriate for what the person is doing. But what we find is that it's weird from the senses, oh, we never thought of that. You know, we never thought somebody would be using that to record ultrasound. Hey, that's great, And that's the beauty behind making some core technology for people that is general enough that it can cut across lots of different markets.
Interesting. I just realized something. I think I need to use the lock. I was handling it, and it's not running anymore.
And you stopped your recording, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lock on the side. If you just tap the power button, it'll go into lock mode, and then anything you press on the touchscreen. And it's an interesting part. You couldn't hardly. I know this from television, but I had the first touchscreen product that we had made, Grass Valley. We did that in about 2002 or so. And the reluctance of the industry, everyone was afraid of touchscreens to have it as an on-air device. And the good thing that's happened for our industry is that now you can make anything with a touchscreen, and you won't get the backlash from what I'd say are, pretty well seasoned people. If you've ever met chief engineers from broadcast stations or work in that environment, they get kind of set in their ways. And so new products like that. So on the ATAMOS side, the entire product is touchscreen. There's only one button on it, which is the power button. And on the flip side, what that allows a manufacturer to do is that's how we add new features to the products, which ATAMOS never has charged for any upgrade firmware. We add new features. We really changed the way that the audio meters worked. I think, Bruce, you'd appreciate that part from what we came from in audio meters on the ATAMOS products. And now we have some very accurate and very nice audio metering system that has gone into the product. So that's why I say on the flip side of the touchscreen thing is you really get a lot of nice features, and you don't have to add a button because you've put it into the application itself.
This is weird. I don't know what I did, but the record button is not lit up.
Well, are you out of disk space?
I wouldn't think so. It's just that the numbers went to 00000, and it's still
ready to make its next recording.
Interesting. I don't know. I guess.
If you want, you can give me a call tomorrow.
Yeah,
and we can talk over.
It's something. I touched something on this. That's. I normally have it mounted on. I mean, I have a CCTV
kind of
stand that is bolted into the desk, and it's just like a camera, stand at the bottom of it, and it's right there. And so I never handle it. I just used fingers.
Right.
That's why I never locked it. But now that I'm handling it, but it's all right. I mean, it's still recording on another. Yeah, it's still recording there. So I'm hopefully I'll be okay.
All right. Yep. Redundancy in recording is
Important.
necessary.
Absolutely.
Yep, definitely. Good.
All right, guys.
Well, I've got another appointment to get to, so
Okay.
But I look forward to talking with you guys again.
Same here.
Thanks, Matt.
Take
Thank
care.
you,
Have a
guys.
great week, a great day, and a great week.
Okay, I appreciate that. You
All
as
right.
well.
Thank you. All right, guys. Are we done? I'm out of stories.
I think so.
Yep.
Nick,
What?
do you have anything to add here?
Wake up.
No.
You started your show. What do you mean, no?
Yeah. So
Yeah. Let people know.
it's on the website, radargaming.net. It's there.
RadarGaming.net. And Nick is doing a show every Friday at 7 o'clock. Those of you that already watched some of the shows, now he's got a co-host, Jake. He's just Jake. And very, very good information. And the show, I mean, if it could be better, it is better now. So
I appreciate it.
Friday night at 7 o'clock at radargaming.net. All right. If you guys don't have anything else to add, we'll end the show. So, good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Katie, and Donna. Thank you, everybody, for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing, back up your hard drive, and update your virus scanner. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computers2know.com. While you're at it, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's growing and it's nice by clicking the buttons. Tomorrow morning at 11, it's the Health In Show with Debbie. And at 1 o'clock, Breaking Free with Marilyn. See you all tomorrow.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. Our weekly lineup of call-in programs includes Computers 2K Now with Amnon Nissan, Health In with Debbie Bruck, Breaking Free with Marilyn Shannon, Lessons of Vietnam with NCVVI members, Reawaken Your Brilliance with Julie Seibert, and if you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it at www.nissancommunications.com. Sponsored by ThatVidBlasterGuy.com, CarolinaApparel.com, and DeltaForce.net.